Linny, the strongest fire magician, was tied to a tree by students. And the person who attacked him was just an 8-year-old freshman. Everyone around laughed bitterly and said he had admitted defeat. Quickly released the teacher. But I threw my hands up in the air. In an instant, countless thunder clouds gathered above Linny's head. Seeing this terrifying magic that summons lightning, he was completely panicked. I just want to show off my authority over the students before class. He doesn't want to die yet. Follow my finger slowly down. The lightning that destroyed heaven and earth exploded right in front of him. Linny was terrified and couldn't believe she was still alive. And I also walked next to him at this time. Teacher, is there anything else you want to teach me? Linny, who was famous for being aggressive, her whole body was shaking non-stop. He shook his head frantically but didn't dare say a word. And the students have seen it all. Everyone began to guess my identity. But they don't know that. This 12-year-old child. In his previous life, he was the #1 mage on the continent. Even the headmaster of the Magic Academy, also 3 levels lower than me. This terrifying power. Not only does it make other magicians angry, but it also made the emperor feel taboo. Delete all records related to me. To make up for childhood regrets, let the world see true magic. I activated the ancient time reversing formation. Successfully returned to the day of the magical talent test. And meet my dead mother again. Even though the magic power in my body also returned to childhood. But when I saw my mother, I feel it's all extremely worthwhile. To protect mother, I must quickly restore my strength. At this time, many children started lining up for their magic test. Just need to show enough talent in the test. Can immediately become an identity, nobler than nobles and magicians. I waved goodbye to my mother and then went to the testing location. But on the way I saw a hateful face. Previous life name. This guard was disrespectful to my mother. Unfortunately, I was doing a complicated check at that time, not discovered in time. But this time I won't let my mother wait any longer. Come into the tent. The magician in charge of the inspection was exhausted, but saw me coming in, still wearing a gentle professional smile, then began to probe my magical talent. This process is extremely time-consuming. In the previous life, it was also because the testing was too slow. This led to the other guard having the opportunity to take advantage. Live again. I don't have time to wait for you to slow down anymore. Decision done. I took a deep breath. In the blink of an eye, a fire flared up in my left hand. Can't wait for the examiner to be surprised. The next second my right hand also condensed a ball of water. Simultaneously holds 2 elemental magic. Does this still need to be checked? Listen to my explanation. Everyone in the tent was stunned on the spot. Just because of this world's magic, it is necessary to study later. A child who has never learned magic from anyone suddenly comprehended 2 types of elemental magic. This is even more unbelievable than a newborn baby speaking 8 languages. Extremely unbelievable. The examiner suppressed the surprise in his heart. Open interrogation magic with me. Under this kind of magic, the person who lies will have a pounding heart. Hands and feet are frantic. But when he asked me again, did you study with someone else? I'm still extremely calm, not panicking at all. This low-level interrogation magic. In front of me, I'm just waving an axe around the eyes of the craftsman. The examiner had to quickly declare me passing the test. After receiving the status of a mage, I immediately walked out of the tent. Sure enough, that guard was trying to get rid of my mother, but good luck. My family and I now have noble status. The inspector and accompanying knight helped me stop the guard. The other guy saw that and immediately knelt down and asked me for forgiveness. Then he turned around and repeatedly bowed his head to my mother. Because he hasn't had time to make a big mistake yet. I'm afraid that according to imperial law, he cannot be immediately executed. But how could I forgive him so easily? I bent down. Gently tell him that there are some things that you just need to have in mind. It's too late to regret. The man didn't understand what I meant. I can only struggle to leave. I brought my mother to stay safely. The translation station is reserved for magicians. Then started waiting for nightfall. The guard staggered and wandered down the street. His mouth kept complaining about today's misfortune, as if this wasn't his fault. I quietly walked behind him, used magic to immobilize his whole body. The man didn't feel right. Turn your head and look behind you. But the next second he lost his center of gravity and fell into the water. If it were me in my previous life, I might still be hesitant. But now I understand. Being kind to your enemies is being cruel to yourself. After erasing all traces, I returned to the translation station. Mom was sleeping soundly. so that my mother doesn't have to struggle with illness like in her previous life. I must quickly gain qualifications to go to the Imperial City, so that my mother can have a life without worrying about food and clothing. But the supernatural talent I showed today, at this time, it must have been transmitted to the royal city. Believe it won't be long now. The Magic Academy will also know of my existence in the distant Imperial City. The Emperor received a secret message from the examiner, indeed. Immediately summoned the principal of the Magic Academy. The director explained, learning magic doesn't just require talent, but it also requires a lot of materials and experiments. All the magicians including me. It's all thanks to diligent study and accumulation. But that child was able to innately know 2 types of magic. This is a unique ability. The first magician to invent magic. Just got it. If he really has that kind of dream talent. Our current magic system, it was impossible to evaluate his potential. To ensure the authenticity of the incident, the director plans to go and confirm it himself. But the old emperor was clear. Also don't completely trust the dean. That's it. Immediately summoned his most beloved prince. And tell him to bring enough people. Go with the Magic Academy people. Time passes quickly. Holy edict of the emperor. Already 1 step ahead of the inspection officer. In there. Not only does it include the appointment of official imperial mages, but he also made it clear that this time he would send the crown prince. Special escort me to the imperial city. Unprecedented high remuneration. Even our local lord did not dare to delay me. Tell your children after meeting me to pay attention to what they say. If I can make friends with that young magician, it will be a lifetime honor for you. Having finished speaking, he watched me step down from the carriage, warmly welcomed me to his palace to rest. And I also intend to take advantage of this opportunity. Plan your next step. That day he was practicing magic at the training ground. Still worried about this body's lack of magic power, but feel sad. Then he saw an old man panicking and asking for help. Said their lord went hunting yesterday, didn't return all day. I'm afraid something bad will happen. According to his past life memories, great lord of the Nokrian family, should have lived to be 100 years old. Why did he suddenly disappear during the hunt? Could it be that my appearance changed the original history? To learn the truth, he and the old man went to investigate. Before leaving, his mother was very worried about his safety, even though he consoled her that his magic was very powerful. But in his heart he knew, the biggest problem right now is that magic power is not enough. Right now, the Lord's daughter suddenly called him back. Just say you can save her father, regardless of money or land. Any servant can give it to you. And he only paid attention to the ring on her hand. This is Mokirian. Anne's family heirloom ring. Has the effect of increasing the speed of magic recovery. Moderate or possible to a certain extent. Compensates for his lack of magic power. So I borrowed this ring. As soon as it was put on, it began providing healing for him. Prepare adequately. He immediately began to investigate. The hunting site is too large. Search is very slow. He thought about the tracking magic he possessed in his previous life. Can summon giant wolf spirits to help him find his way. But as the magic formation slowly took effect, the summoned spirit has this appearance. It seems that the total amount of magic power will also affect the effectiveness of the magic. But fortunately, the basic tracking function is still there. He told Tuong to smell the scent on the ground. Sure enough, the clue was quickly discovered. On the other side of the cliff, the Lord's team was fighting hard against a group of goblins. One day and one night of fighting left him exhausted. But there are more and more goblins. Just when he was so tired that he was about to lose consciousness. In a blink of an eye all the goblins were around. They were all frozen into stone by ice magic. The Lord just saw clearly who was coming. I couldn't help but fainted. When he woke up he returned to his palace. To thank you for saving my life. He gave me the family heirloom ring, and said that this thing in their house is just jewelry. But it's on your arm. It symbolizes the Mokirian family's respect for him. I swear to you in the name of the homeowner, will become our eternal valued guest. Anytime you need it, the Mokirian family will all stand by your side. This promise starts with me, passed down forever. With the help of this ring, the total amount of your magic power was able to stabilize at level 3 mage. Except for the great magician with the title, there are almost no competitors. And the crown prince also arrived at the territory at this time. According to memories of previous lives, this life, the heir to the throne is from the Magic Academy. The 5th child is the most supported. Also someone who is afraid of your power. But cross the bridge and withdraw the board. The crown prince is the most beloved by the emperor. But his scheme was not at the top. Almost no one supported him. Now a genius magician suddenly appeared. It was the only audience he had any hope of attracting. He was escorted by the lord to meet the crown prince. The other person obviously found it hard to believe his age. Does manipulating a child really have any effect? But just when he was doubting, he was discovered in the entourage. There's a familiar face. That woman is Celia, a spy planted by the enemy nation Quild. Besides him who has experienced the future, no one can think of it. Next to the crown prince was a spy from the enemy country. His purpose in coming to this funeral team was clear. Looks like Queld also knew your existence, this genius magician. 8 parts are coming to kidnap you and your mother, indeed. On the field at night, Celia avoided everyone who came behind him. Used the most basic magic attack missiles. Want to test your strength. But unfortunately they were all blocked by his shield. Witness his strength. The woman said she just came to say hello. After all, he was about to enter the Magic Academy. She is also considered his senior sister. I just want to wait for her to finish speaking. He immediately called out her real name, then said, Quelled spy. Work is still so hasty. I heard you expose her identity. That woman was so scared that she broke out in a cold sweat. And you? Everyone called out one by one. All the spies that Quild hid in the Empire. From minister to knight. There are even a few people. Even Celia has no right to know the name. He told them their exact identities and duties. Just like their undercover plan. From start to finish it was a joke. Celia's eyes at this moment were also filled with murderous intent. Level 3 condensation magic, exploding lava magic, wants to kill you. But level 3 violent lava magic. It didn't cause him any harm. In the firelight, he slowly walked out. He spoke in a low voice, saying that she probably wouldn't believe it. Before she was born, I already know. You will become a spy for Quild. The corners of Celia's mouth trembled slightly. I was wondering what nonsense this crazy guy was talking about. But when he saw that he was unharmed, he was able to block level 3 magic. Even though she's a first-class undercover, it's also difficult to stay calm. But right after that, it made her even more incomprehensible. It happened right before our eyes. He did not recite the mantra. There were no preparatory movements at all. Immediately summoned tens of thousands of ice cones. The next second, these ice cones simultaneously attacked her. This is her trick. Never heard of it in magic textbooks. This moment. This training field immediately entered winter under his magic. Celia used all her strength to open the magic shield, but almost at the same time liberated. Cracks have appeared on the shield. Just when she was extremely worried, he condensed a true 3rd level magic, the exploding rock magic. A fireball this size was like a brilliant sun in the middle of winter. Just passing through the air makes one's mouth dry. Severe dehydration. Only now did Celia truly understand the gap between her and him. As the magic power runs out, the shield suddenly shattered. Countless ice hammers hit her, leaving her covered in injuries. Immediately after the aftershock of the storm rock technique, it also made her completely give up the idea of running away. Just glanced in surprise. The child in front of him is under 10 years old. Immediately fell to the ground, no longer able to stand up. We can only hope that someone who heard this explosion will come and save her. She was sure that he had no proof that she was a spy, even if there is. The knights also won't believe what he says on one side. She's been since she was little, infiltrated the royal citadel as a spy, Royal Knight Order and Magic Academy. They all have a very good relationship with her. But hear these words. He couldn't help but laugh again, then calmly state the evidence he holds. Perhaps even your undercover agents don't know. Celia was about to refute his unreasonable words. The people of the Royal Knight Order ran to the training ground. The magicians are familiar with her. Immediately go up and treat her. Only the knight captain asked him what had happened. He just said that he injured this woman. Actually, the captain knew his special status. So I want to hear your explanation. He arbitrarily made up a lot. Say you saw this woman meeting with a mysterious person, and together check the mark on the body, confirm identity. Very suspicious. Celia heard the reason he made up, excitedly sat up. Want to prove that everything you said is fake. But he said in a victim's tone that she wanted to kill him. He was forced to only take action to subdue her. The knight captain was first of all amazed that he could defeat a level 3 mage, feeling shocked. But then he immediately started asking about the imprint. And arranged for my people to do a little inspection. Are there any strange marks on Celia's body? Fellow magicians from the Magic Academy, determined to defend her. but only for the safety of the crown prince. The captain cannot give in. The two had to obediently cooperate in the investigation. Celia secretly laughed in her heart that she had been undercover for so many years. Even if you contact your accomplices. So basically there is no mark. I want to see how you end this. Right now. He suddenly walked towards her. One hand ripped open her shirt behind her back. After using a bit of simple magical urging, a strange magical mark appears on her neck. Look at the mark that you have never seen before. Celia also doesn't know how to explain. That's why he knows this secret. Came from an interrogation in a previous life. He used magic to interrogate Queld's people. The person in charge of planning is undercover. For 2.5 years, he just told me. They've been undercover since birth, imprinted. This is an explosive formation to prevent captured spies from betraying. So this is a secret that only the high class of Queld knows. The investigation yielded results. The knight captain prepares to send people away. The story of espionage is not trivial. It is necessary to ask for the emperor's opinion. As for the magician who discovered this secret, after the investigation is completed, His Majesty will personally discuss the reward. On the other hand, the crown prince in the palace heard about this. There was also absolutely no doubt about his status as a genius magician. Then asked his subordinates how he could attract him. The knight captain replied that he had supernatural strength, but still just a child after all. You just need to reward him with some things that children like. Maybe it will. The prince pondered for a while. Really can't think of a better idea? So you should definitely call him directly to ask. Because he caught the undercover guy. Consider it indirectly protecting his safety. So he let me open my mouth. Say the reward you want. If at this time you say you want money and title, this is not a request that a normal child would make. Although the crown prince is not very intelligent, but not that stupid. So he expressed a prepared wish. Please let me go to Madhap Relic for a tourist tour. Heard this request, the prince's mind suddenly became confused. He doesn't understand what's so interesting about seeing that torn place. But this child likes to learn magic. Being curious about those fairy tales is also normal. Then he immediately agreed to his request. Didn't know that in that relic, hiding a secret treasure that countless people desire. The magical achievements he achieved in his previous life. There are many contents recorded in that book. If possible, continue to study this book completely. His strength will only be stronger than his previous life. Very quickly, the royal knights took you to the Madhap ruins as scheduled, and find a nearby resident for us to rest. When people enter the village, discovered again. The villagers soon enthusiastically chatted with the crown prince. He completely did not have the appearance of a royal noble. Treating these ordinary people is very gentle. See this scene. I understand a little why he is the emperor's favorite. Goodbye, Mom. He started on his way to the ruins. The brother of the past used to pursue the limits of magic, but to this place. Admire the holy site where our ancestors studied magic hundreds of years ago. Now coming to this place again, the monument remains unchanged. This place was once the battlefield of ancient magicians and deaf-mute people. Deaf and mute people and stone statues invaded the empire. The magicians of the magic tower at that time rode horses to meet the battle. Final. Heroic Prince Mitchell led everyone to victory. But he did not succeed to the throne, but leave the magic tower. Go to the imperial city to found a new magic academy. Who would have thought that? Underground of this monument still retains its inheritance. I found the secret tunnel that I went through in my previous life. Slowly advance in the dark palace. Finally arrived in front of a stone statue. If not in my previous life, I would have come to this place. I also couldn't believe that stone statues had been extinct for hundreds of years. There is also a living child. The monster spread its wings and attacked me. As for me, I immediately used water magic in response. Although this cannot cause much damage to it. But just let it be covered by the water element. Then summon ice sticks to attack. Can activate an ice-water elemental reaction to freeze it. Lost air combat advantage. Don't expect to escape my magic. A bolt of lightning hit its head. This last gatekeeper was also successfully destroyed. I quickly went to the place where that book was kept. This book is written with dragon eyes. Perhaps even older than the history of magic itself. The time reversal magic I used before, also recorded on it. But when I opened this book again, the contents inside sent chills down my spine. Time reversal. The magic turned into a blank page again. It seems this rebirth is my last chance. Return to the fleet. We finally arrived safely at the imperial city. Just walking on the road, you can feel the prosperity of the capital. But the knights did not dare to be a little careless. Just because the spy Cilia is still in the car, no one dares to guarantee the Citadel won't have her accomplices coming to the rescue. Right at this moment, suddenly someone blocked the team's path. They are the magicians of the Magic Academy led by the headmaster. The old man has a noble status. Power is second only to the emperor. The knight captain could only dismount and respond. But his purpose for coming here was only one. He used the excuse of interrogating the traitor and took away spy Cilia. The knight in charge of escorting did not dare to refute. I know this old man will come and cause trouble for me sooner or later. Right now I don't have enough confidence to defeat the strongest magician of this era. Must be fully prepared before he investigates me. Must be fully prepared before he investigates me. After getting off the bus, we arrived at a palace. The crown prince said this was a special reward given to me by the emperor. And tell me after the family is settled. Go to the palace to say goodbye to the crown prince. My mother and I looked at this new house. But this is the first time receiving a reward at this level. Mom seemed a bit panicked. I asked her if there was anything she didn't like. In my mind, I just need my mother to say it. I will definitely think of a way to help Mom. But Mother's troubles. Turns out it was just a feeling. It takes a lot of effort to clean a big house like this. It seems that she is still not well prepared to be a noble. I had to follow the emperor's wishes and go to the palace first. In my previous life, I had never met this old emperor. But I also heard that he was a very talented monarch. Me later. You must play the role of this genius child well. As I spoke, I slowly spoke. Enter the main hall. After performing the great ceremony, the emperor went straight to the point. You should know why I especially reward you. It's very clear in my heart. He wanted me to help the person he loved the most. The crown prince is isolated and has no one to support him. But if you say it out loud, it seems too mature. So I deliberately used the tone of a child, shyly said. Perhaps it's because I'm good at using magic. The emperor's face turned cold, obviously not satisfied with this answer. And the crown prince also stood up and explained to me, Father, it's still a child. Still not enough to understand his holy will. The emperor also saw his eldest son for the first time, because others beg, so I decided to ignore this matter. And wanted to reward me for catching the spy. Ask me what I want. I have also prepared a wish that only a child would mention. I want to tour around the palace, so I can go home and tell Mom. How big is the royal palace? How beautiful. Considering I made the same request last time. Without hesitation, the emperor agreed. Also give me one. The token can freely enter and leave the palace. After thanking His Majesty for the reward, I'm preparing to leave. The emperor said he also prepared other gifts for me. Having finished speaking, he ordered someone to carry a large chest full of gold coins. There are also 20 well-trained guards, then said calmly. This way you won't have to worry about cleaning the room anymore. Exit the hall. My dangling heart just came down. It seems that this emperor is more suspicious than I thought. But now it's more important to come home, Lang, the resting place of previous emperors. Even if you have a card, you can't go in and out at will. So the guards here are often more negligent. But to be safe, I still added a layer of sleep magic. Then I came here to search things I need. An ingested mushroom can inhibit heart rate. As soon as I got the mushrooms, I was about to leave. The princess brought a servant with her. It turns out, the two of you met here to secretly learn magic. This is a secret that I was unable to discover in my previous life, just because mages on the mainland are all under the management of the Magic Academy, to not be controlled by the Academy. You can only hide in places like this to teach secretly, although this secret is of no value to me now. But she did not regret committing a serious crime and had to learn magic. There is definitely a more thrilling hidden story in there. Return home from the palace. The maid gave me an envelope. As expected, this was an invitation from the headmaster of the Magic Academy. The first is to express respect for me. Then invited me to the academy to discuss magic together. I know this is a Hongmon party, but no magician can escape the academy's control. Most of the magicians on the mainland are almost all classmates and fellow students. Just the academy itself possessed power comparable to the empire. It's impossible for a magician to have no master like me, can survive alone. So I specially created a jar of thick mushroom juice. Within 2 hours after taking, I will maintain absolute sobriety. Arrive at the familiar academy tower. All the high-level magicians were sitting around. No one wants to see it with their own eyes. The genius teenager is on par with the #1 magician. Sure enough, as soon as I sat down, the director immediately produced a set of documents, expressed doubts towards me. It is said that mages should be as close as hands and feet to each other. Already hands and feet? Then you shouldn't hide anything from us. I know this is another interrogation for me. The difference is, the director's level 5 interrogation magic is not ordinary. I had to rely on the power of intestinal thickening mushrooms. New may not reveal loopholes. You really don't study magic with anyone. What is your purpose in visiting the Magic Tower ruins? How did you know Celia's spy status? Countless important questions were thrown at me like incantations, but I'm just calm. Say the answers you want to say. The director focused on the interrogation and remained silent, but he would rather doubt. My 5th level magic has no effect on me. I also don't want to believe the stories I made up. Could this child really be the reincarnation of the first mage? Or in other words, his magic, and above the old man? Right now, a red-haired mage suddenly stood up. He is the strongest fire magician with a hot temper. But Linny is extremely aggressive. Linny walked in front of me. Stand up high and look down, kid. Who are you anyway? Seeing that he intended to use intimidation to frighten me, I have to repeat the basic information again. And this obviously angered him completely, wanting to attack me in front of many high-ranking magicians. Fortunately, the dean stopped him in time. Use all your strength to initiate interrogation. The magic team asked his last question. Before, there was a guard who was disrespectful to his mother. Then he drowned in the river. But there is residual magic power in his body. Did you kill him? I'm not wrong. Heard this question. I thought to myself that this old man is worthy of being a dean. Then I started magic. Eliminates the medicinal effects of intestinal fungus. Then say this has nothing to do with me. In a situation where the heart rate has been restored. All the high-ranking mages present looked out. I lied. But at this moment, the dean revealed a smile. This question is different from the previous interrogation questions. A child is suddenly suspected of murder. If you can still answer with a calm face. This is the most suspicious point. As for me intentionally revealing loopholes, just proves that my previous answers are yes, really, still coming back.
In the end, it didn't matter whether he killed that unimportant guard or not.
In the end, it didn't matter whether he killed that unimportant guard or not. The Magic Academy doesn't care. The director even helped me explain. The result of the subsequent investigation was that he accidentally tripped and fell into the water. Our noble mage is of course not involved in this matter. After removing doubts, he started to entice me. But how high a reward can you give me? It depends on my magic power. Having said that, I want to check the magic weapon in front of me. Inject all the magic power inside. A magician's limits can be tested. I understand clearly in my heart how those magicians are jealous of those stronger than them. For safety, I just need to control my power well. Infuses a limited 2nd level mage. You can safely pass the inspection and gain the trust of the Magic Academy. This plan gives me hundreds of benefits without any harm. But based on what? To gain the Emperor's trust, I can play the role of a child. To take revenge, I can carefully observe facial expressions. Wealth, power, honor. I can give up all of these things. Only in magic, I absolutely cannot give way. I am the strongest magician in this world. You guys should look closely. In my opinion, I will use all my strength to inject magic power into the magic weapon. The magical weapon of inspection quickly covered the cracks. Immediately after that, there was a loud explosion and it completely exploded. But this is still not my entire strength. Seeing this scene, the dean could not hide his surprise. The surrounding high-ranking mages also shouted in surprise. Linny muttered a sentence. Is this a joke? This container absorbs all the magic power of a 3rd level mage. No problem. Could it be this child? It was possible with high-level magicians like us. Are you sitting on the same level, the body of a child? How is it possible to have such huge magic power? During the internal meeting of the Magic Academy, no one doubted it anymore. Rumors about me too. He was born a level 4 mage. If we talk about strength, except for the director, none of us can guarantee that we can beat him. Such a dangerous existence. We must lock him up in the Magic Academy, in order. He's the new guy who should have gone downstairs to study. But if we let the students below know that there is such a genius, I'm afraid no one will want to concentrate on learning magic anymore. The high-ranking magicians all expressed their agreement with this point of view one after another. Summary of everyone's opinions. The director decided to give me the highest treatment. Anyway, the future achievements of such a genius are immeasurable. While the Magic Academy can still help him, definitely don't hesitate at any cost, as I see it, being able to publicly declare his status as a level 4 mage, and directly appointed him as the 12th highest level magician. Moreover, considering he is still a child, I intend to choose one of you to tutor him. Just like that. I had just entered academia and became a senior manager. Some senior magicians have studied at the academy for decades. After meeting, I still had to bow. I followed him for a walk around the academy, but accidentally, I saw the children who attended school with him in his previous life. At this point, they were still just rookies who didn't know anything about magic. And he stood at the pinnacle of the academy. You should still look for opportunities. Say hello to these old friends. While we were talking, we arrived at a building. This is a high-class magician's office just for you. I can feel it. The academy is trying its best to lure him. But he won't let this kindness blind him. 6 years later, the old headmaster will lead the entire academy. Support the 5 princes to ascend the throne. We must build a new force to confront him. The magicians are actually not completely loyal to the headmaster. What they fear, it's just his level 5 mage strength. As long as he can pass through him, the power of the Magic Academy will fall into your hands. But with this child's body, it's too difficult to break through level 5. Right now, behind him there was suddenly a loud scream. Why do I have to send this person to teach me? I don't understand the name or anything. Only knows how to fight. Linny, he understands. My own talent is completely not on the same level as yours. But he has more experience in real combat. And the number of times he fought, perhaps not even a fraction of his. As he spoke, he asked to duel with him. Depress your morale. Ask him if he dares to take this barrier combat class. I know how to deal with this type of person. The best way is to beat him into submission. Make an appointment to duel with him. Many veteran magicians. I heard there's a war between masters. Everyone ran to see. Linny was secretly happy. There were many people who witnessed him defeating the legendary genius. But just as he was about to chant the spell, the vines he summoned surrounded him one step ahead. He wanted to use fire magic to overcome these tree roots. But I discovered the growth rate of this branch, even faster than the speed he burns. This brat intentionally used wood-type magic to confront me. Are you so confident in the strength of your magic? The fight lasted 2.5 minutes. Linny was tied to a tree by him. After a series of his lightning attacks, he finally gave in. This battle also caused a stir in the entire academy. The director asked someone to inquire about Linny's situation afterward. His subordinates reported that he had been in very poor condition recently. Haven't been able to eat rice for a few days. This result. It's really hard for the academy's higher-ups to accept. As for his biggest enemy, the 5th prince, also at this time came the academy, and summoned the director to ask about his news. But his friends and acquaintances all know it. These things are all within your expectations. But wants to defeat the 5 princes. There must be a plan, long-term and complete. Right now, the maid brought a letter. It turned out that the crown prince invited him to a dinner party. You must know that the crown prince, he's also the person who's not the best at socializing. Bring curiosity. He went to the palace banquet hall. I really don't know what's so big that it's worth him preparing a dinner party. But he had just entered the hall. I saw people giving him strange looks. The prince stands on the 2nd floor. Tell the guests solemnly that today, I want to introduce to everyone a friend of mine. He is the newly appointed senior magician of the Magic Academy, the youngest level 4 mage in history. Hearing that, a bad premonition arose in his heart. Sure enough, the crown prince pointed straight at him in the crowd, and invite you to his place to open everyone's eyes. I think that's not confirmed. Are you a member of the crown prince's faction? 8 parts is the idea that the old emperor gave him. The crown prince said honestly, the first time he met you, still doubting his strength. But he was very lucky because his eyesight was not good. Luckily we didn't miss a top talent like you. As he spoke, he also introduced his sister to get to know him. When I see Haley again, she was completely different from Huang Lingling. In every word and gesture, they all reveal the elegance of royal nobility. It is said that he is a very powerful magician. She even invited him to eat together. But he just said it's late for tonight's party, or leave it for another day. After speaking, he went out to the balcony alone. Avoid those eyes. But I didn't expect to meet the previous knight captain here. The man's name is Kane, the crown prince's most loyal knight.
Met by chance.
He immediately started talking to him. But I didn't expect that I hadn't finished saying 2 sentences yet. He took a step and knelt down in front of him. Ask him whether he ultimately supports the Crown Prince or the Fifth Prince. Actually, I still don't think right now. When I'm done, I'll help the Crown Prince. But he absolutely will not side with the Fifth Prince. Get answers? Cain looked happy. Then take a necklace down from the neck. Want to give it to you. This is the magic necklace the queen gave him. Because everyone is on the same side. So this is for a magician like you. It would certainly be more useful to me. He just glanced at it. Recognized this precious magical necklace. In his previous life, he always dreamed of this necklace but could not get it. But now it's so easy to get. He asked Cain. Is there any request for you to give me this? He also did not hide his concerns. In this world, the power of a magician far exceeds that of other professions. The fighting ability of ordinary knights is very difficult to exert. So he begged him. Practice your fighting skills with magicians with him. Such simple conditions. He cheerfully responded. But right now? Suddenly there was a huge explosion outside. Listen to the sound and look out. The Imperial Citadel was on fire on all four sides. Could it be an act of assassination targeting the eldest prince? Cain quickly stood up, hurriedly ran towards the hall. The Crown Prince protects his sister behind him. Look around. In a moment, everyone in the knights came before him. And he couldn't feel the breath of the surrounding enemies. I left a magical passport where the Crown Prince is staying. Start asking around. About a resident named Isabel. Certainly not beyond my expectations. Other spies also began to act, and their target is not the Crown Prince. It's Celia. I don't want Queld's people to find out. I know all their plans. On the other side? On the other side? A mysterious person has arrived at the place where Celia is being held. Ask her if she will reveal Queld's information. Celia told me everything I knew. Man though there is. A bit hard to believe, but still open the cage. Right now. He felt someone coming behind him. Immediately brandished a dagger. Crashed straight into the brick wall next to me. Since the resurrection. You are still the first person to make me bleed. But before magic, your dagger is still too slow. Please atone for the mistake you made 10 years later. The assassin had just accepted his first day of work when someone came looking for him. And the person who attacked him was a boy he had never met before. Daniel. I don't understand where I offended this magician. I spoke again leisurely. You killed my comrades 10 years later. The man who was about to speak must have had a misunderstanding. Then the next second I froze into a statue. Right now, the new prison guards rushed over. I say frankly that the 2 spies have been arrested. This story quickly spread to the Emperor's ears. He got angry. Reprimand the Magic Academy for its poor management. Also ordered to revoke the Academy's right to investigate espionage. The director suppressed his anger and withdrew from the main hall. And at this time I had just arrived at the palace. In just a few short days, another spy was killed. The Emperor admires my abilities even more. Planned to reward me with another gift. As he spoke, the eunuch next to him brought a box. Inside is a sparkling cloak. The Emperor explained. This shirt came from his ancestors. Hero Michel, the first headmaster of the Magic Academy. Logically speaking, this national treasure cannot be transmitted outside the royal palace. But now he. Prepare to make a decision that goes against your ancestors. Please lend me this shirt for 200 years. He told me to quickly wear it and try it on. Even though his childish body still couldn't fit into this cloak, but magic is contained within, made it fit in an instant. The ministers present all felt it. This reward is too precious. But the emperor was very satisfied with his decision. After giving thanks, I walked out of the palace alone. But I didn't expect it here, meeting Princess Haley again. Just because the meeting at the royal tomb was too embarrassing, meet me alone. The princess is a bit nervous. And I tell you your secret. I definitely won't say it out loud. Her expression softened. Right now, a familiar voice rang out from behind me. The person who came was the 5th prince that I hated. First time seeing him again after being resurrected. I couldn't help but want to take action. Right now he is still that hypocritical person. Pretend to congratulate me on becoming a level 4 mage. He also wanted to entice me to join his faction. Luckily, Princess Haley relieved me. Don't let the 5th prince and I soon get angry. To complete my revenge against him. For the next 5 years I continuously practiced magic. Gather all the forces you can use for yourself. Time passes quickly. In the blink of an eye, 5 years have passed. The Crown Prince is seriously studying. But with his intelligence it is clearly a bit difficult. So he definitely skipped class to come see me. But today, it was also the last time Cain and I trained together. Face countless ice sticks. Cain concentrated his mind. Power is generated under the feet. Flexibly dodge attacks. Then I had to face countless disciples that I summoned. It was very difficult to stand still and take a breath. A ball of violent lava magic fire rushed towards him. Countless training sessions have made him no longer afraid, relying on the sword wind to blow away the fire. This was the closest he came to me during training. A blurry figure gradually became clear. He rushed forward regardless. Finally touched the sword to my chest, but sorry, that's just a clone of me. Although Cain practiced for the 81,097th time, still failed. But the person you're facing is a martial arts magician. But in a world that worships magic, the man practiced swordsmanship for 5 years, still being rotated by the magician like a pinwheel. He originally thought that my efforts are all in vain. Only the final result will be known. The person who confronts him has become the strongest level 5 mage on the continent. I'm comforting Cain. Let him not be discouraged. Ordinary magicians were no longer his opponents. Just if you want to surpass me, just have to try a little harder. Encouraged, Cain started practicing hard again. And I'm also preparing to officially graduate from the Magic Academy, because in these 5 years, my rank has surpassed that of the director. So the old man's attitude towards me was much more gentle. And choose one for me yourself. Graduation examination task. Ask me to go to the northern Great Steppe to fight the monster invasion. Currently I'm also looking for a reason to go out for a trip. Immediately accept the assignment. But before going, you still have to take good precautions. I left some defensive formations close to home. Then said goodbye to my mother and left for the front line. On the battlefield in the northern steppes, a red-haired general is leading his army against monsters. But the strange thing is, monsters of different races bond together. The general was prepared for the sacrifice. But during the assault, I saw the sky suddenly snowing again. This place has never had snow, but before my eyes, an ice bridge tens of meters high appeared, completely split monsters and barracks into 2 parts. There were also many monsters directly frozen to the wall. This strange scene made the general a bit bewildered, and I also came before him at this time. It is said that I am a magician from the imperial city who came to support me. The general hastily ordered reinforcements. Invite me into the barracks, even though my ice wall magic can stop monsters. But in the end it's not a long-term plan. Wait until the ice melts. They will come back again. The best way is to find out the cause of the monster intrusion. But that cause is definitely on the other side of the mountain. We can't get through now. After understanding the situation, I said I could leave the investigation to us. The red-haired general shyly said he could only rely on him. Reminds me of some information about the steppes in my past life. I know that on the opposite side of the mountain is a primitive tribe. Their leader, as a wizard king, he can also use magic. If his territory was also occupied by monsters, I can search a bit. Found the magic staff I was most familiar with in my previous life. What if the other side is not occupied by monsters, so a place as far away as us is being invaded? It would be very suspicious. Decision done. I activated the cloak's flight ability to cross the high mountain. The results have just landed. Immediately surrounded by tribal people. They didn't even ask but wanted to attack me. I had to condense an ice sword. Swinging his hand, he cut his weapon. See my true strength? They don't dare to act rashly anymore. The Wizard King also arrived at this time. I asked him, why do monsters bypass your village? The old man only said that he did not understand the monster's thoughts. But in front of a level 5 mage, lying is not so easy. I immediately opened interrogation. Magic had discovered his loophole. Having been exposed, the old man stopped pretending. Swing the staff. Countless monsters were immediately summoned by him, said aggressively. No matter where you're a mage from, who broke this secret, all must die. Self-hatred or the safety of parents, which is more important? The first magician encountered the greatest danger since his rebirth. Yesterday I trespassed alone. Destroy the Wizard King's plans. The old man told me the reason he summoned the monster. Attack the empire? It turns out that there was once a mysterious woman on the steppe. Not only did he leave behind a prophecy that the tribe would be destroyed by war, but also injected black magic into the Wizard King's staff. The old man intended to borrow this power to deceive his people, but I also can't let the black magic reappear. After many days of fierce fighting, I finally returned triumphant, but the black magic in the staff also succeeded in seriously injuring me. Luckily, the red-haired general promptly rescued me and brought me back to the barracks. After a few days of rest, I also woke up successfully. The general was extremely grateful for me defeating the monster alone. Very grateful. Tell me if there's any place in the border territory that can help me. We will definitely do our best to support. As for me, I'm just curious about how that staff is doing now. The magicians in the barracks did not dare to touch it. It can only be sealed in a box. The handling is very satisfactory. It doesn't seem to cause any trouble. As I said that, I started to remove the black magic on it. Luckily, my level in my previous life was very high. This bit doesn't make it difficult for me. 2.5 minutes later I successfully purified it, but at the same time, I also felt a severe pain in my heart. I know this is a normal reaction to a level breakthrough, but it startled the red-haired general. Anyway, this world, there is no precedent for a breakthrough from level 5 to level 6. Only I know how to handle this situation. After seeing I was okay, the general was finally relieved. Give me the 2 letters you just received. The first letter was sent by the old director, which mentioned, my family was recently attacked by unknown people. Mother's current situation is extremely dangerous. How could the formation I set up not be effective? It's definitely the old man's trick. And the other letter came from the palace. The emperor requested me to go to the city-state of Demira to assist the crown prince, and said my mother was taken to the palace by him, protected. Tell me not to worry. This time, he went to the city-state of Demira to participate in the conference. Besides the crown prince, there was also the headmaster and the group of the 5th princes. The emperor was worried that the crown prince would be isolated outside without any aid. That's why I asked for your help. But the palace's protection is real. Can I stop those who intend to harm my family members? The 5 princes in their previous life relied on this conference. Win the battle for the throne. Also let the world know the uselessness of the crown prince. On one side is my revenge plan, one side is family safety. Looks like he gave me the step quest. The old man has already finished his calculations. He firmly understood that I would definitely protect my family. Taking advantage of the fact that I was not there, I quickly suppressed the crown prince. But now I'm the only level 6 mage in the world. Even though that old man was planning to break his head and forehead. It's also impossible to calculate the effectiveness of level 6 magic. Speaking, I have a perfect plan in my head. In the distant city-state of Demira, the crown prince was pushed to the sidelines of the envoys. There's nothing to do, Cain lamented. If the magician is here, then it's good. On the other side, the 5 princes were under the escort of the abbot, chat happily with foreign nobles. The director saw the plan as successful. Unconsciously, the corner of his mouth curled up. Think silently. That kid must have quickly run back to the royal citadel. It values family so much. I'm definitely worried to death. Just wait until the conference is over. Everything will be over. Right now, everyone raised their heads. It seemed like something was flying from the sky. Your Highness, sorry I'm a bit late. I've been since birth. Already one of the few genius magicians on the continent. Only with mathematical knowledge accumulated from previous lives, can change the structure of magic and create new magic. Even so, make my mother take a step, become a legendary level 6 great mage. In my previous life, I saved someone who unfortunately died in a car accident. Then he was reincarnated into the magical world. While unconsciously, I have lived here for 7 years. And through data I learned that this world has class division. Here there are magicians who can control magic, writers can use aura, even priests can use divine power. More importantly, my mother is a mage skilled in 3rd level magic. It is worth mentioning that magic formula of this world, very similar to mathematics.
By the age of 7, Eli had mastered 2nd level magic.
By the age of 7, Ellie had mastered 2nd level magic. Although Ellie's current magic power is still limited, but within 3 years, Ella will definitely become a 3rd level magician. And today is the day Ella's mother travels once a month. She would go to the big village next door to sell tea. So Ellie decided to go there with his mother and take this opportunity to see the outside world. But my mother refused because she didn't know Ellie could use magic, and on the road there are many monsters. Thinking of my mother walking through these dangerous roads alone, Ali couldn't help but feel sad in his heart. This further fueled Ella's desire to become strong, because in this world, if you become a level 5 mage, you will enjoy treatment second only to the Baron. If you are a level 7 archmage, then you can live carefree for the rest of your life. And Ella's dream is to become a level 7 great mage. After that, he and his mother lived happily together. Then under the attack of sweet words, Ellie's mother finally agreed to his request. But Ellie must make sure not to do anything dangerous, and she will be responsible for protecting his safety. Of course I trust you, Mom. Image conversion. At this time, two people were walking on a small path in the forest, and Ellie felt very curious about everything before his eyes. After all, this is Ellie's first time leaving the house, so Ellie seemed extremely excited. A moment later, Ellie's mother signaled him to sit and rest nearby for a while. And now, a monster next door attracted Ellie's attention. Could it be a beastman? At this time, Ellie's mother was afraid that Ellie would panic, but unexpectedly Ellie seemed very happy. It seems that this is the continent described in the book. Hearing that, the beastman immediately became angry. Simultaneously, I only saw Ellie's mother condensing fire magic in her hands, then gently said, "Don't worry, Ellie, I will protect you." Next, a giant fireball flew towards the monsters. In an instant, it burned them black. Then he was afraid and ran away from this place. I didn't expect my mother to be so powerful, and for Ellie's safety, Mom has begun to spread knowledge about monsters. Giants have super high healing ability, demons have extremely high defense ability. Among them, the blood of giants is very popular, because it has the ability to regenerate. And the demon skin is a very expensive thing, because it is extremely difficult to catch. So isn't it true that if we catch them, will I make a lot of money? Then Ellie's mother told him, the two's destination is a city called Banzak, and still far from the destination, about 3 more days. I wonder if I can keep up. Of course, Ellie gave an affirmative answer. After many days of trekking through the mountains and forests, the two of them finally reached their destination. And this place will become the first step for Ellie to become rich. Image conversion. The two of them arrived in the city. This is the most exciting scene that Ellie had seen over the years. At the same time, under the guidance of my mother, the two of you went to a store called Diebol, and the boss was waiting there. While the two were chatting, the boss noticed little Ellie standing next to him, and he seemed very curious about Ellie's appearance. So Ellie's mother introduced him to him. The boy's name is Ellie, is my lovely son. When the boss was about to greet Ellie, then the next second, he felt extremely surprised, because Ellie has a different set of eyes than other kids his age, and Ellie realized he was judging him. While the boss was bewildered, Ellie's mother's voice pulled him back to reality. Then she gave him tea, and through his conversation with Ellie's mother, it's not hard to see, he is a very gentle person. A moment later, Ellie and his mother left this place. At this moment, Boss Diebel showed a happy expression, because he believes that Ellie's future will definitely be successful. Image conversion. The two of you will arrive inside the magic tower, because Ellie's mother needed to sell the mana stones engraved with runes. Mana stones are stones engraved with magical power, allows normal people to easily use magic, even though Ellie has a way to make the process of engraving magic power simpler. But because the materials are very expensive, so Ellie didn't dare to try it casually. However, it is said that, in the magic tower, there are magic books and materials for sale. In the magic tower, can buy the legendary level 9 magic book, even level 10. But the strongest magician on the continent right now just reached level 9. From past to present, there has never been a level 10 great magician in legend. Hearing that, Ellie immediately stood there stunned. It seems that he wants to become the strongest mage. Ellie still has a very long way to go. Image conversion. The two of you arrived inside the magic tower, then sold the mana stone to his uncle, and he welcomed Ellie's arrival. Right after that, he introduced his son, Gedrick. At only 12 years old, he had already reached level 1 mage. Then he signaled Jedrick to perform the magical energy spell, and the next second, I only saw Jedrick's hands condense a stream of energy. Even Ellie's mother found it hard to believe, but unexpectedly, the pig-headed uncle next to him took the opportunity to tease. At this point, Ellie finally couldn't bear it anymore. Originally, Ellie decided before the age of 10 that he would not show his abilities, but now Ellie can't bear it anymore. That little bit of magical energy, I can do it too. And Ellie's mother thought Ellie was lying, but the next second, a powerful stream of magical power exploded instantly. Next, I shouted spiral energy. In a moment, a powerful stream of energy condensed in my hand. I just used the lowest level 1 magic, has made the legendary level 7 great magician deeply impressed. But I only rely on the mathematical knowledge accumulated from my previous life. Magic structure can be rewritten and create new magic at the same time. Comes with the energy in the hand vanishing. Everything returned to calm again. Only two people remained bewildered in place. Even Mom had a look of disbelief on her face. Indeed, my beloved daughter is the best. At the same time, I only saw a white-haired old man loudly questioning everyone who was casting magic just now, and he is the owner of this magic tower. Look at his unfathomable magic power. Could this be the strength of a level 7 great magician? Next, he glanced at me and determined that it was me who did it, because I have eyes that are different from other people my age. What's more, a great magician is someone who can see into the hearts of others. Then he immediately invited me into the tower, and he was very curious. Even though I use level 1 magic, but my time to practice poetry is very short. He wanted to know how I did it in the end, and even level 7 archmage. It also takes a very long time to chant the spell. If in combat, there is no doubt that he will die.
And I laughed.
He wanted to ask me to teach him this quick method of reciting spells, and I laughed. This world-class hidden skill. You probably don't want to pay any price. You got it out of my mouth, right? These words surprised even the old man. I'm that smart. So as long as your conditions are met, it's fine, right? Of course I am against this. Gave a solid answer. Then I immediately stated my conditions. I need level 8 and 9 magic books, along with a few magic stones. Hearing that, the old man immediately felt extremely surprised. Although he didn't know what I was thinking, but he will prepare some books for me, along with a large amount of magic stones. So the two happily completed this transaction, but even he didn't expect it, a 7-year-old child. Yet it is so difficult to deal with. Then I immediately advised the old man. Please keep what happened here a secret. Scene transition. At this moment, my mother looked surprised and asked me, how did I finally learn magic? As for me, I rely on the magic books in the house, along with self-invented magic formulas to study. In my previous life, I enjoyed solving difficult math problems, because I can find joy in the process of answering. But magic formulas are much more difficult than mathematics. As for me, I just need to slightly modify the magic structure. It's possible while still maintaining power. Shorten spellcasting time. Even my mother couldn't help but praise me as a genius. Unconsciously 2 years have passed. At this time my mother had mastered level 4 magic. We also moved from Lunk village to near the magic tower. But today, on the way to the magic tower, something unexpected happened. Only saw 2 young girls being treated like a dog, being called back and forth, even got punched and kicked. So I immediately took action to stop them. Look at these 2 pitiful people. At this time, mother had already condensed the fire. After all, we don't need to communicate with these guys. Under coordination with mother, we quickly beat the enemy and drove them away. Then we took off the collars on their necks. Now the children are okay. But when they heard that they already had nowhere to go, Mom immediately decided to adopt them. I opened it. It's not just the chains that imprison them, but also a gateway to hope and freedom. But when they heard that they already had nowhere to go, mother immediately adopted them. Scene transition. I am now 12 years old. Today Serena, as usual, called me up. I could see that magic power was condensing in her hand. The next second a small bird emitted yellow light, just flew around me. A moment later, I opened my sleepy eyes, and praised Serena. Her transformation magic is becoming more and more powerful, but she works all day. You still have to learn magic with me. Don't you feel tired? And she said. Although at first it was a bit tiring, but after feeling the joy of magic, she didn't feel tired anymore. Then she immediately signaled me to get up quickly. Scene transition. At this moment Kana was as usual, just finished sword training, but he can find joy in swordsmanship. The more he waved the long sword in his hand, he felt more energetic. Can't even wait. Wanted to show me the results of my practice. And their age is the same as mine, but has a tragic past. At first I was worried. They will not be able to adapt to living with us. But it seems my worries were unnecessary. Serena has a talent for magic. She is currently a mage skilled in level 1 magic. Kaina is excellent at using her motor skills to practice swordsmanship. I believe that in the not too distant future, they will definitely have achievements. At the same time, Mom was looking at us with a happy face. Hello. Could it be that something funny happened? That's right, now I am already a mage skilled in level 5 magic. Hearing that, everyone simultaneously congratulated. As for me, I had already thought of a way to celebrate. Just when everyone feels doubtful, I led them into the magic tower. Although the old man was very unhappy about me not visiting him for a long time, his behavior is very dissatisfying, so I started to explain. I placed each mana stone on the table, but at this moment the old man was extremely surprised, because this is the most difficult magic stone to find on the continent today. Could it be that I am the one who created it? This type of magic stone possesses magic power comparable to high-grade magic stones. But what's different from the other magic stones is, magic stones can only be used once, and it can be recharged many times, because of this extremely rare manufacturing technology, so it also attracts competition from magic towers. However, everyone around them could see their silhouettes. But luckily they haven't taken any action yet, and I'm thinking, maybe the Tower Master's grandfather would be interested in it as well. After a moment of thinking, the Tower Master's grandfather signaled me to state the conditions. As long as he agrees to my 4 conditions, you can immediately learn how to make magic stones, along with business rights. The first thing is, please protect my family. Because when the strongest magic tower on the continent took over the magic stone, then they won't look at us anymore. The second thing is, I need some books on swordsmanship and magic, because the talents of the 2 of them are so outstanding, so we need more books to study. The third thing is, please arrange a good motel for us, because my mother became a level 5 mage. So I wanted to help her celebrate. Happy that Vantu's mother immediately shed tears, because for me, protecting this piece is the most important thing. At the same time, the Tower Master asked me the final condition. What will it be? I need books on making magical statues. The Tower Master felt extremely surprised, because that's even if there is a design, it also cannot be manufactured. But I expressed it to him. I'm just curious, which I know well, to realize your ultimate goal, I must have a magic statue. Just change the way you breathe. Made mom from level 3 mage jump up to become a legendary level 6 great mage. Now she was able to precisely control fire magic. And after the magic stone incident, time has passed very quickly. 4 years have passed. Right now there are a few assassins loitering near my house. They got the mandate. It is necessary to safely capture the person who created the magic stone, but if you dare to resist, then kill without mercy. At the same time, I soon glided in front of them, and confirmed their ideas. Then 3 giant ghost statues appeared toweringly behind them, and the enemy after reacting, while lifting his hand, he swung out the long sword in his hand, but the next second, the sword shattered again. Immediately afterwards, their pitiful screams were heard. A moment later, the demon statue lifted up. The 2 immediately walked towards the deep forest. Even though they are still incomplete demon statues, but they possess great strength, along with agile body. But since I received the book about ghost statues, I put all my energy into making the demon statue. Although they did a good job of protecting it, but still very far from my goal. Scene transition. Today is like every day. Selena is preparing breakfast, and Kana just returned from training. Still want to show off a little to me. But the only difference is that mom is not here. At the same time, mom is trying to control this huge fire, because only if, totally embrace it, only she can become a level 6 great mage. But in the end they all failed, and at this time, I'm calling my mother to come home for dinner, but she refused. She must quickly become a level 6 archmage, because she has her own suffering. But here, it was also the first time I saw my mother with such an expression. It seems that my mother is really impatient. Afterward, I immediately thought of a way to improve concentration. If I give it to my mother, maybe it will help her. Secondary respiratory method. Focus your attention on your belly. Inhale deeply through your nose. Then exhale all the air in your body through your mouth. Just learn this. They will be able to improve their concentration, but clearly, the 2 girls are not suitable for this breathing method. It seems like it's very difficult for them. But the mother next to her appeared very attentive. Even the 2 of them found it hard to believe, and I can feel it. Magic power is slowly condensing towards mother. Right now she was wholeheartedly feeling the magic power. Magic power slowly permeated her entire body, and is growing rapidly. But this is a feeling she has never had before. It seems Ellie is truly a genius, but that's exactly why. To create a better development environment for me, she must return there. Accompanied by mother slowly opening her eyes, she could feel it now. Magic power is flowing in the body. That next second, with just one hand, mother summoned a giant fireball. Then it's easy to change the shape in your hand. Just have this. She can definitely become a level 6 great mage. Looking at my mother, I smiled again. At this point I breathed a sigh of relief. But now, There was only one thought left in my mind. That means quickly completing the creation of the magic statue. That's why I ignored my mother's change. If only I had paid attention to this at the time. Maybe we will live in peace forever. But those are all things that happen in the future. Magic. It turned out to be made up of many different types of magic power, but I just noticed this point. In the blink of an eye, the intellectual valley was broken, and jump up to become the legendary level 7 Great Magician. Right after Mom promoted to level 6 Grand Mage, I immediately devoted myself to making magic statues, and me wants to create his own conscious ghost. But this is not an easy thing, because it requires level 8 spiritual magic. According to my current strength, absolutely impossible. Then, the only way left is to use black magic, through a large amount of negative emotions to form the ego. Although I can understand the theory, but I couldn't do it, after all. This is too difficult for someone like me who has just mastered level 6 magic. It's really too difficult. Apparently before becoming a level 7 Great Mage, I can't hold it at all. But now I have no clue about it. When Mother successfully leveled up, she became a level 6 Great Mage. I must have missed some important detail. Simultaneously, Serena next to me interrupted my thoughts. Because it's time to test her magic training. But I'm very curious. Could it be that she encountered some difficulty? Then I saw her open her mouth to explain. Although it's a bit difficult to speak. But she wanted to know what the nature of magic power was. Because, besides the feeling of magic power filling my whole body, she can sense many different types of magical power, mixed in the body, but she didn't understand what it meant. What powers and characteristics do they have? So she wanted to find me for answers. But hearing her words felt like thunder in my ears. The next second I turned around to look for the magic stone, then use magic power to feel each magic stone. Just like she said, magic stones contain many different types of magic power. Different types of magic mixed together create magic. At this point I finally found my breakthrough. It turns out there are many different types of magic power, but I want to know more. That's it. I wholeheartedly entered my inner world. Here magic power is like a vast ocean. Under the stars it looks even more beautiful. This reminds me. The game I used to play in my previous life, when attacking the copy, teammates will become extremely important. Through mastering the characteristics of each individual, then proceed to allocate and combine appropriately. Then it can show the strongest power. And this is where I am best at. Based on different combinations, perhaps I can create the most powerful magic. So the next step is for me to start testing. Then I waved my hand, causing the magic stone to float in the air. If I rearrange these types of magic power, then it will definitely create the most powerful magic, along with the ever-expanding magic power in his hands, if it continues to grow like this. So sooner or later I will be caught up in this power. To become a legendary level 7 Great Magician, I must definitely give it my all. Simultaneously, the magical world has collapsed, and the next second, the immortal bird emitted golden light, suddenly appeared before my eyes. Just when I wanted to reach out and touch it, I suddenly woke up from the dream. Appearing before his eyes was Serena, with a worried expression. And I had a hard time understanding why I was lying on the ground. But the most important thing now is, I have now improved my magic level. Because of Serena, the reminder helped me clear the deadlock. But she was very curious. In the end, what level of magic have I mastered? Because she came from above me, feeling magic power stronger than Mother's. But I cannot reveal this. And I know it well. In the not too distant future, my goal will definitely come true. Waiting for my continent's strongest demon knight. Mom is very anxious. Want to become a 6th level archmage for a reason. It turned out it was because of returning to the place, filled with painful memories. Unhard family. A famous aristocratic family stops at nothing to have children. At the same time, he is also the murderer of my father. Right when I was feeling happy about my personal breakthrough. At this moment, my mother had a heavy look on her face. Although this place is very suitable for retreat, but for me, there could be a better growing environment. Mom was forced to make a decision. That is returning to the old homeland full of suffering, so she hopes for her lost father. May you bless me well. Scene transition. Today is my 17th birthday. That's it. I decided to show everyone my cooking skills. After a while of rattling, I just had the golden egg fried rice and kimchi. Immediately captured everyone's taste buds. Look at the empty plates. I feel extremely happy. But now, Mom said she wanted to talk to me privately. Look at my mother's sincere expression, so I agree. Scene transition. Mother and daughter were silent for a long time in the room. Could it be that the rice I make doesn't suit my taste? Just when I thought of this, Mom's words pulled me back to reality, which she said. There are some things it's time for me to know about my grandmother and my father's past. It turned out that she was the daughter of the Marquis Einhart family. She comes from the Storm Empire. Hearing this, I immediately opened my eyes wide. Truly the Einhart family of the Storm Empire. In this continent, there are hundreds of countries, and the Storm Empire is one of the 5 strongest countries. Among them is the Marquis Einhart family, famous for cultivating many elite magicians, which is famous all over the world. I heard Marquis Einhart about to break through and become a level 8 great mage, but his son also holds the powers of a level 7 archmage, hold real national power. Although I also doubted my mother's true identity, the necklace she wore, after all, it is a sacred weapon that only level 7 great mages can create, plus all the books in this house. Unless you come from a famous family. Otherwise it is very difficult to make contact. Then Mom started telling the story. In less than 4 days after she was born, he lost his mother. And he grew up under the care of his brother and father. Continue growing up. When he was 7 years old, the family takes the name of intermarriage, dedicating him to the Prince of the Storm Empire. But his mother was an extremely freedom-oriented person. She wants to live her life as she pleases. And at this moment, Reen's appearance changed everything. Even though he is the magician in his mother's house. But he encouraged his mother to pursue freedom. So on the big wedding day, his mother decided to run away with Reen and start walking on the path to finding freedom. Even though the road to freedom is extremely bumpy, but just being with Reen, his mother felt very happy. However, not even 1 year. They were captured and returned to the Einhart family. Even though he used death to threaten his father, I want him to forgive Reen, but he did not accept that. But, if your mother agrees to stay here forever, he will consider sparing Reen. Just like that, with his mother's consent, the two were eventually released. But right when the two were having their final farewell ceremony, a slash fell. Just like that, Reen left this world forever, and here. It was the punishment for dishonoring the Einhart family. Until now this scene has become his mother's indelible memory. After that, because his mother broke off her engagement with the Empire, so the family was chased away. But his father to preserve the family's reputation. So it was arranged for him to live here, only when becoming a level 6 archmage. His mother has the right to return there. But his mother at that time no longer wanted to live. But my appearance changed everything. Look at me growing up healthy and strong. Those were her happiest times. She wants to give me the best of everything. So she had to return to that family. Ailey, I want that name back. Now she is qualified to return. Just go back there. I can get a better growing up environment. Ailey, let's go back together. The demonic knight with a sense of self-control was finally born. Even the Master Tower, a level 7 mage. You also have to look at me with different eyes. However, faced with the decision to return to her mother's clan, it's very difficult for me to understand. Why did Mom have to return to that scary place? The treatment that the Einhart family enjoys, compared to this country's nobles. There is a difference in nature. His father, Marquis Einhart, had the same status as the royal family, and his mother hopes I can develop my potential in a better environment. So she hoped I might consider it. Look at my mother's serious face. I think I cannot refuse this offer. So I agreed with my mother. Then next we should start preparing to leave here. A moment later, I walked out of the room. I just saw 2 people looking very worried. They don't know what their future will be. They are slaves after all. If I return to the Einhart family, then they can't continue following me. But I say this again, there is no need to worry. Because you guys are my family, I will create a reasonable identity for you. The 2 of them finally smiled happily. But now I'm getting ready to go somewhere. So ask the 2 of you to prepare everything to depart. Because I can't change my mother's mind. Then there's only one thing left to do. Camera angle shifts. I went to the Bell store. Because I gave them the right to distribute magic stones. So now they have become the leader in this industry. And today I came here because I have a favor to ask. After all, they have a vast information network. Of course he answered in the affirmative. However, the next words made him tremble. Because I want to know all about the Einhart family. And this was the first time he saw it. I showed such a serious expression, so he started talking. Marquis Einhart family. A family with a history of 700 years. In the Storm Empire, they belong to the famous aristocracy. One of the most famous families in the empire. Because they have trained 3 level 8 great mages. And in this family there are hundreds of magicians. At that time the Marquis had a great influence. As long as he wants it, he can mobilize thousands of magicians. After the escape incident, his reputation spread even further. Faced with the Marquis's daughter's behavior, ran away with another man on the wedding night. The prince and Marquis again forgave her, and helped them have a peaceful life. It should be known that at that time this happened, there is only one way to die. So everyone praised the Marquis and the prince, very generous. Hearing this, I expressed extreme surprise. Obviously did such scary things. Yet he still used my mother to give birth to their children. But there are also rumors that the Marquis will stop at nothing to get descendants for the family. Therefore he advised me not to get involved with them. If we return there, they will definitely accept my mother. The Master Tower seems very lonely lately. Camera angle shifts. I immediately turned around to the tower. And I brought the Master Tower an exquisite gift. That was the design of the Knight's demon statue. The Tower Master was immediately stunned. But with the current situation, the creation of a demon statue has a sense of autonomy. It's almost impossible. The Tower Master stood to the side, listening, but seemed unconcerned. Obviously, he saw through my true thoughts. But he didn't ask me more. Afterward, I told him the news that I was leaving here, and most likely won't come back again. After thinking for a moment, the Tower Master opened his mouth to mutter, it seemed. This is very important to you. Just rest assured and do it. He believes in my talent. Anywhere you can be famous. And he looks forward to my growth in the future. Then there will be a day I will return to visit him again. Image conversion. After saying goodbye to everyone, only this last thing remains. I just saw myself waving my hand and summoning a giant formation. And the next second, a magical knight wearing golden armor slowly appeared. He was created by me. The demon statue has its own consciousness. Golden Knight. Although there's nothing important right now, but soon he will have work to do. But before that, please stay in another world. After receiving the order, the Golden Knight immediately turned around and entered the strange space. And he is the crystallization of all my magical knowledge, if possible. I hope I never have to use his powers. Then next you should prepare to leave. At the age of 40, he mastered level 7 magic. People will give him the title of genius. What if at the age of 17 he was already a level 7 great mage? So it would probably be considered an unusual existence. After saying goodbye to everyone, next, you should prepare to leave. On the other hand, the Einhart family has concluded its investigation of the magic stone, and they finally found the source. But the Marquis was very curious. Why did it take several years to investigate? Because of the magic statue that the creator of the magic stone used. Very powerful. Despite sending top assassins, they also left and did not return. Hearing that, the Marquis fell into contemplation. It seems they have achieved great success. But now, all the magic towers are searching for the source of the magic stone. Anyway, the production cost of this magic stone is very low. If they have this technology, that would be no small fortune, and can help Einhart's elite become rare people on this continent. However, the next words surprised him greatly, because the creator of magic stones is a magician named Schiffel. To be exact, it should be his son Ellie. Unexpectedly, it was his daughter. So he ordered Schiffel to be brought here immediately, and let him set the conditions for returning to the clan. And he thinks so. If only the family could acknowledge his son, then he definitely won't be able to refuse. If you can get rocks, methods of creating magic, the family can definitely return to its peak. But if this action causes discontent of the prince, so what to do now? As long as there are no conflicts between the two families, it's okay. Before he was probably a useless person, but now he can be useful. At the same time, everyone has started their journey home. And when I think about returning to that scary place, my mother's mood became much heavier. Actually, I don't want my mother to go back there. I want to tell my mother, I am now a level 7 archmage. But I don't know how I should explain it. In this world, if there is a person who masters level 7 magic at the age of 40, then that person will be called a genius. And I, at only 17 years old, am already a level 7 archmage. If I tell mom then I will definitely be considered an unusual existence. So I have to bury this secret in my heart. Image conversion. We have arrived outside the teleportation magic circle. Through magic, he teleported to the Storm Empire. We can save quite a lot of time, but again informed. 4 people coming to the Storm Empire need 800 gold coins. For us, it's really too expensive, but the uncle next door, I thought we couldn't pay that amount, so he signaled us to leave quickly. At the same time, I just saw Kina throw a flying kick. Please don't arbitrarily touch my family. Just when the situation was about to get worse, the appearance of the person in charge promptly stopped everything. He first apologized for the other uncle's behavior, then say that 4 people coming to the Empire will get a discount. Just 360 gold coins is enough. After paying the fee, we have arrived at the teleportation magic circle, along with some blue light slowly descending. The next second, we were teleported to the Storm Wind Empire. Only a prosperous city appears into sight. It seems that this is capital in the Storm Wind Empire. Then my mother signaled us. We'll stay there for 1 night. And before arriving at the Marquis's palace, we had to check in on Kina and Selena as a mercenary. According to the strength of 2 people, they can definitely become high-class mercenaries. Right now, my mother looked extremely surprised. It turned out to be His Royal Highness Prince Akkad. Could it be that the prince is my mother's former fiancé? According to what is known, since my parents were arrested, until his father was brutally murdered, it was all caused by this prince. At the same time, the prince is pretending to care about my mother, and asked her whose children these children were. There are 2 people next to me. I think the prince is very peaceful and friendly, but only I know. The real face is hidden behind the mask, because I am a level 7 Archmage. Can see through everyone's true thoughts. But he has plans for my mother. What a disgusting face. Then I immediately started introducing myself. Hello sir, I am her son Ellie Wenzi. The prince immediately looked annoyed. Then he immediately used work as an excuse to leave first. I just saw him approaching my mother. Whispered in her ear that she would never escape his grasp. What a name to die for. Which the prince knows well. His return here represents work. He is now a level 6 Archmage. A woman with both beauty and talent. Very suitable to become his woman. But he must find a way to deal with this thorn in his side, me. Just 10 seconds, Kina and Selena single-handedly defeated the guild president and become the highest level mercenary. Not long after the prince left, his mother breathed a sigh of relief. Then he signaled us to go to the guild to register. Scene changes. We went to the mercenary guild, according to registration rules. To determine the actual rank of the applicant, there needs to be a showdown with and the president of the mercenary guild. But to take care of 2 young girls, that's it. The president decided to let the 2 of them participate in the test duel. Hearing that, both immediately felt insulted. Then they decided, be sure to let him know. Not for a moment. Everyone came to the arena, with the president announcing the start of the inspection. In the blink of an eye, both of their eyes were filled with murderous intent. I only saw Kina slowly pulling out the long sword in her hand. The next second a glimpse of a body suddenly appeared. The president was blown away on the spot. At the same time, only saw Selena slowly chanting magic. Then a tornado emerged from the ground. In just 10 seconds, they ended the match in a splendid manner. Even the president was shocked. Their strength is entirely that of secret mercenaries. It seems they have already obtained the highest rank. While everyone is feeling excited, his mother seemed unfocused again. A moment later, she just reacted, watch out for the prince's arrival. Made his mother remember some unpleasant things. Scene changes. At this moment, his mother was deep in thought. Unexpectedly, the prince was still very stubborn towards her. Even now she has a family. Still want his mother to be his concubine. If we continue to develop in this direction, my ultimate outcome will be like my father and mother. Absolutely will not allow that to happen. Even though the family and the prince are from the same family. But his mother will find every way to protect him. Right now. A knock on the door interrupted her thoughts. It's Ellie. Then only his mother spoke up. If we use the method of making magic stones as a condition, providing for the Einhart family, what will happen? After all, the whole continent is hungry for it. This technique, even the Einhart family is no exception. If you leave this matter to them, I believe that they will definitely protect you. And he responded to that. Even if you don't do that, I can still protect everyone. There are still us. I only saw 2 people slowly walking out the door. So Forget all the unhappy things. Look at the children who understand things like that. His mother was moved to tears. Then chat with us together. Also in a previous life, his parents passed away very early. When they are so oppressed by debt that they can't breathe. I really wanted to give them a hand. Now he moves to this world. Only with my own strength. Was able to achieve maturity faster than others. And this time, I want to accomplish things that I couldn't do for my parents in my previous life. All those who hinder my happy life, I absolutely will not miss it. Women are inherently weak. But when you become a mother, you become strong. But this is the first time I see it. His mother had such a tough attitude. When it comes to your problem, his mother appeared extremely determined. After a fun night, today it was finally decided to go to the Einhart family. And I hope there won't be any problems today. Scene changes. We arrived in front of Marquis Einhart's palace. It seems like 17 years have passed. This place still hasn't changed. Then his mother told the guards. They came to visit the Marquis. But I was told that I needed to make an appointment in advance. Then tell Marquis Einhart. Seifel, who was expelled 17 years ago, has returned. Listen. The soldier was immediately scared and ran to report. According to rumors, the power of the Einhart family after the escape. It has been decreasing more and more, and after expelling her, his father was heartbroken. Even because of this, I didn't eat or drink for a whole month. About the act of killing Lean, it's entirely up to the prince. Order, not of his own free will. But why did his father end up like that? At the same time, he signaled his mother not to worry too much. A moment later, just saw two people staggering towards us. Then he immediately started apologizing to his mother. And said that he shouldn't because of the family's reputation, but expel her. Right now. She noticed him standing next to her again. Could this be her son? His mother gave an affirmative answer. So he immediately began to introduce himself to the Marquis, and from his eyes, he deeply felt the fakeness. Because from the moment he saw you, he quickly scanned his magic power. At the age of 17, you can become a level 5 mage. This really surprised him. But what he didn't know was, at this time he had soon become a level 7 great magician. Then his uncle signaled us to go inside to talk. Scene changes. They arranged for Kaina and Selena to rest first. Then get straight to the point and ask your mother. Sipple, are you really the one who created the magic stone? If the family masters this technique, then the family fortune will go one step further. At the same time, it will have a great impact on the empire's legal position. By then the family will become stronger. And the Einhart family will take the place of the royal family. Clear. Marquis Einhart's words were filled with greed. And he hopes that because your mother has returned to the clan, then you must contribute to the family. Devote your strength. But his mother gave him a condition. That was for him to become Marquis Einhart. Hearing that, everyone present felt extremely surprised. And his mother thinks this is natural. Because the creator of the magic stone is actually Ali. Just like what Dad used to scan with magic power. Ali is only 17 years old, currently a level 5 great mage. Please ask among the current level 8 great mages, who has such amazing talent, and he believes that, in the not too distant future, I will definitely become the strongest mage of the Storm Empire. Magic stone plus the world's strongest magician, Einhart family, will definitely become the strongest existence on this continent. So will you let him become a Marquis? Please answer me. Facing such a powerful mother, the Marquis quickly signaled, now I can't make such a big decision. But the mother asked him to decide now. Ali can definitely become a stronger mage than you. If you cannot agree to this request, then I won't tell you how to make magic stone. Vant. The Marquis tried to suppress his anger. He also didn't expect it. Mom became so strong again. It seems that the saying that a mother is kind to her children also has morals. So he could only say he needed time to think. After a while, we walked out of the room. Although I'm very worried about my mother. But my mother signaled me not to worry. After taking my mother back to her room, I immediately returned to my room, which I know well. The Marquis will definitely not accept this condition. So I need to observe them more closely. So I summoned a pair of glasses. Although my eyesight is very good, but I need glasses. I can now concentrate more. Glasses can more clearly observe the direction of magic power. And what is the Marquis thinking now? Let me go investigate. Didn't expect that. The Einhart family is so dark. And everything they did to Mom. I will make them pay the price they deserve. Face those who stand in my way. I will let them feel endless pain and despair. To know what the Marquis is thinking right now, so I immediately used stealth magic. Immediately after that he reached the Marquis's room, and my uncle was very suspicious. Could that kind of child also become a Marquis? Just talk about talent. At 17 years old, he was already a level 5 great mage. He is a difficult to find talent. In terms of character, his son certainly has it. But he is a child who grew up in another country, so it's not suitable for our family. But what if he comes back to take revenge? Even Siphiel has become a level 6 great mage. If this continues, something big will happen. But the Marquis said there was no need to panic. After all, there are more than 20 level 6 magicians in the Marquis' palace. Afterward, he immediately mentioned the letter he received from the prince. The letter said, if the Marquis agrees, then he will think of every way to accept Siphiel as his concubine. But I accidentally did that. Siphiel will most likely reveal all the family's secrets. Let the whole world know. At the same time, the Marquis ordered him to shut up. Although magic equipment was used to handle it. But anyway, the wall still has ears. If these stories get out, enough to cause the entire Einhart family to instantly collapse. Back to the main story. Actually, they don't need to worry about the prince, because they were originally grasshoppers on the same string. The prince needs a way to make magic stone, and Ali's gift. These are all precious things that should not be overlooked. If it were you, how will you choose which he knows well? This is coming from the father, so he has to perform well. First he will answer the prince. We are very pleased to have royal sister Siphiel as our concubine. Ali will then be arrested, and use Ali's network to ask Siphiel how to make magic stone. Finally, after finding out how to make magic stone, Siphiel will be brought to the prince's side. If she dares to resist, I will seal her magician power, and trained ally to become a mage loyal to the family. As for the prince, just use a fake corpse to fool him. Not wrong. Gelden, you are indeed the most suitable person to become the next Marquis. At the same time, at this point I was so angry that I clenched my fists. Is this kind of person worthy of being my family? I'm very sorry. Why didn't you stop Mom from coming back here in the first place, from start to finish? My starting point is all about wanting my mother to live a better life, so I always respect my mother's choice. But I didn't expect it to have such a different result. If only to take advantage of me, I can still be patient. But once again it implicates the mother. I absolutely will not forgive you. At the same time, the Marquis finally felt that something was wrong, but it was all too late. I saw that my magic power had already condensed in my hand, along with a scream, endless flames. The next second, the whole house exploded on the spot. A moment later, only 2 people stood there bewildered. And the Marquis just found it hard to believe, unexpected. This kind of great magic requires half an hour of chanting time. I can perform again in the blink of an eye. Afterward, I saw the defense army rushing towards them. Looks like you're still alive, huh? That's good too. Anyway, if it ended like that, it would be too tasteless. I swear I will definitely make you experience all the pain. I will make you regret taking action against my family, those who stand in my way. Everyone will feel endless suffering and despair. Do you think my strength is only level 7? No, my strength is much more than that. Face all enemies that stand in our way. I absolutely will not forgive anyone. The next second a giant golden knight immediately appeared before everyone's eyes, and the Marquis now seemed extremely excited, because the demon statue is in existence even rarer than the magician. Then, seeing everyone, they immediately launched an attack towards the demon statue, but just one touch, the entire army was defeated on the spot. The Marquis was currently daydreaming. If I have this golem, then the family will become the strongest existence on the entire continent. Then he ordered me to be captured alive, and forced me to reveal information related to the magician. You are really too greedy. Perhaps current assets. Isn't it enough to fill the bottomless pit in your heart? Immediately after that I raised my hand, injecting magic power into the golem. Even the 2 people next to him were shocked. I have such strong magic power. As a level 5 mage, to be able to create such a powerful golden knight. And he suddenly remembered. Before that I could even use level 7 magic. In a moment he understood everything. I use magic. I'm actually a level 7 archmage. Unexpectedly, even the Marquis, the strongest level 7 magician, I was also deceived. After that I saw him angrily condensing magic power in his hand, Right after that, a powerful stream of blue energy rushed towards me, and I just gently raised my right hand. In an instant, it was eliminated. People like you are not worthy of being part of my family. Go to hell? Right now. My mother called me back, but she still doesn't understand what happened. But I don't want my mother to know what I'm going to do next, as well as their dirty plan. I don't even dare to imagine. After Mom learned about their plan, what kind of mood will there be? Face your mother's question. I don't know how to answer her, and I've never seen her so angry. It seems I have no other choice now. Afterward, just saw me raise my hand to summon an energy ball, and the Marquis took a glance and realized that it was recording magic. Maybe. Does he always record what happened before? If this story spreads out, there will be big trouble. So he immediately ordered Ally to be executed on the spot. But everything is still unclear. Besides, Ally is your nephew. But the Marquis pretended not to see, and still ordered to deal with me as soon as possible. Simultaneously, I ordered the Golden Knight. Just defeat them. No need to cause casualties. Afterward, I only saw the Golden Knight summoning a precious sword in his hand. Obey your orders, your majesty. And now everyone was screaming to destroy that precious sword. But only I know that is impossible, because the golden sword is the symbol of the Golden Knight. It was crafted by the dwarves from pure steel, and all around the sword's body were engraved with magical metal characters. Blade surface has been enchanted with magic that can convert impact force. At the same time add sharp magic to increase penetration. So this golden sword can be compared to the legendary sword, just like the game I used to play in my previous life. If the strength of the combination is the strongest, always standing still, then one day you will be defeated by the enemy. So the only thing to do is constantly improve your limits, can become the strongest existence. Simultaneously, I just saw the Golden Knight swinging a powerful sword. The next second, a powerful stream of sword pressure destroyed the enemy army in the blink of an eye. This is truly a monster-like existence. Just when everyone was trying to run away, I only saw the Knight Captain rushing over. Looks like he is the rumored captain. Then he is among the winning masters. In the match, he was definitely at the top level. After that, only the Marquis was seen giving orders to the captain. Execute Ally on the spot. Of course I will deal with him in a moment. And I have a calm look on my face. The Golden Knight opens its second form. Remove the seal. Come. The second form of the Golden Knight has finally arrived. Under everyone's surprised eyes, the Golden Knight has completed his second transformation. After that I saw it raise its hand to summon a golden sword. The captain next to him found it hard to believe, because the knight's aura was surrounding him again. With the Golden Knight slowly approaching, the captain also brandished the long sword in his hand. The next second, two strong people had a violent collision. Only saw a blinding light flash. At this point I knew victory and defeat had been decided. Simultaneously, the captain was soon seriously injured, and yet he still had a look of disbelief on his face. Then he collapsed to the ground. At this time, just saw the Golden Knight swinging the golden sword, slash towards the Marquis and the others. Even though the protection layer negated a large amount of damage, but its strong sword pressure, still killing many soldiers in the blink of an eye. Even the Marquis was frightened by the scene before his eyes. And next, my target is the magicians in the Marquis's palace. But before that, Mom, do you really want to know the truth? Of course. Anyway, she believes that I do it for a reason. Surely there is some important information in here. Even though the Marquis desperately wanted to stop my actions, but the extremely powerful Golden Knight is by his side, made him give up that idea. Because with just his strength, there is basically no way, even if everyone can restrain me. But as long as I choose to escape from here, then the family will be destroyed in an instant. Simultaneously, to protect the mother's safety, so I used magic to create a space. And next is the moment when mother faces the truth. Looking at countless fragments of memories before my eyes, Mom knew the whole story. Even if the prince wanted to accept her as his concubine, or maybe you're afraid of your mother, the family secret will be made public. There is also the indifferent and uncaring look of his father, even all of your plans. At this moment my mother just felt extremely heartbroken. At the moment of return, she thought that her father always considered her family, but she discovered she was wrong. Actually, She also understands the fear of this family better than anyone. Yet she brought me to this scary place. There is absolutely no such thing as love here. Even though his mother was taken advantage of by the family, he was still able to endure it. But he did not expect that the clan's demon claw would reach out to him. The moment my father passed away that year, Mom should have hated the family to the core, but she chose to believe. She believed it was all due to the prince's orders. But now my mother has completely awakened. She clearly understood that these people simply did not understand what love was. What is love? In everyone's eyes, it's just a tool to hold power, and this is their true face. No matter how cruel the truth is, then this is also the time you should choose to accept. After leaving space, Mom made up her mind. She won't hide anymore. And I noticed tears rolling down the corners of her eyes. It seems no matter how much damage you suffer, in my heart my mother still considers them family. But I absolutely will not let you go so easily. With me raising my left hand high, the next second, a giant bird suddenly appeared before everyone's eyes. Immediately after that it made a shrill sound. Even his uncle couldn't help but cover his ears. Yet you use the power of sound to weaken morale. Unexpectedly, a small level 5 magic can also have an effect on level 7 mages. It seems that he is truly a person with exceptional talent. Don't rush, the next one will be you. This little gold coin, enough to overthrow the entire Einhard family. If you don't want the information inside it, if it's made public then please fight me honestly and honestly. Right after I used magic to lower the enemy's morale. At this moment the Marquis changed his attitude again. Are you really not considering serving the family? A family without your existence? Then that would be a big loss. If you agree to serve the clan, then he can pretend these things never happened, and can ensure their safety. I don't know what you mean, which I immediately reacted to. This old guy is using sweet words to seduce me. Not just his father, there are also those soldiers. Now even I do. What an obnoxious old man. It seemed that the seduction had no effect on him at all. But I have a problem I don't understand. Why did he treat his family like that? What is family? Many nobles for the prosperity of the family. But choose to sell out your children. These are all normal things. Hearing that, I immediately felt extremely scared. This guy really looks like a devil. And he was very curious to know who I learned my magic from. After all, he is only 17 years old and has mastered 7 types of magic. This is truly amazing. Even though I said they were all self-taught, they became talented. But he had a skeptical attitude towards this. And I basically don't pay attention to his thoughts. After all, these people only consider family members as tools. I hate it the most. But I can give you a suggestion. If me and my family leave here, then bring your actions out publicly. Then your family will face great disaster. This golden coin records everything that just happened. Female. This fact doesn't just affect the entire Einhard family, but also related to the Prince of the Empire. If this matter becomes public, so Storm Empire, there will be an unprecedented disaster. If you don't want to see this happen, then please fight me honestly. If only you could defeat me, I will destroy this gold coin and leave here. Hearing that, the Marquis immediately showed interest. Just 2 people attacked together, so defeating me is only a matter of time. And I didn't pay attention to that at all. Because they looked down on me too much. I will show them what despair is. With that I threw out the energy in my hand, only saw 2 giant streams of energy collision strongly against each other. In the blink of an eye, a huge shock wave was created. On the other side, the king learned about what happened inside the Marquis palace. According to rumors, witnesses saw someone using level 7 magic. This is an extremely important matter. If it was caused by the Einhard family's experiments, then we must hold them responsible. But what if there is an internal problem? So just sit back and watch the situation change. In the end, benefit. And the king wants to take advantage of this opportunity to weaken the power of the Einhard family. As expected of the man who is called a king, initially fostered the power of the Einhard family to such a large extent. Now the thing to do is to get it back into your hands. Then sent 200 soldiers to help. Next, I have to see you, Duke Creon. Of course I will quickly resolve this, simultaneously. Only to see the prince hastily came when he heard the news. Then he asked to go with the duke. He wanted to take this opportunity to cut off all of Einhard's power, but his real purpose is to get Seal. But the king was very worried. With his strength, still not enough to weaken the Einhard family, but he said that Even if you can go to gain experience, it's also good, so the king accepted his request. Scene transition. The two of them were preparing to go to Marquis Einhardt's palace. But if the prince had personally appeared, so it's not my turn to act anymore. Of course the prince gave an affirmative answer to that, along with the duke's commanding voice. Just see the entire army slowly moving towards the target. Lightning attribute magic. It's an inexplicable existence in this world. But I only use the common knowledge of life that I have accumulated from my previous life. Created a lightning rod that can absorb lightning. Just as the prince and the others were on their way here. At this time I had already cast magic. Only saw a giant hand attacking the Marquis. This type of magic is both fast and powerful. If you were a normal person, died while chanting the spell. But they are the powerful Einhardt family. Just seeing him quickly cast magic, the next second an extremely powerful firestorm appeared, came upon me. I didn't expect him. Can shorten the casting time of level 6 magic. I just need to raise my hand to summon a giant wall. Immediately stopped his fire magic in an instant. Simultaneously, the Marquis launched a lightning sword at me. Face this unexpected attack. I immediately used magic power to cover my entire body and create suction from it. Control a large rock that blocks magic. Even two people. Everyone found it hard to believe my ability to cope. Right after that, I released a fire tornado towards the two people. A firestorm arose from the ground. Unexpectedly, it only showed up once. I was able to execute it perfectly. This kind of talent, simply a monster-like existence. His uncle then used 3 layers of defensive magic to defend. But less than a moment. The protective magic shattered on the spot. Right when his uncle was still stunned, I teleported behind him. And when I prepare my poetry, his uncle exploded with strength and wanted to escape from here, but it was too late. Countless silk threads were drawn towards him. At this moment, the Marquis next to him noticed at a glance. This is action restriction magic. But this magic is for Gladen. Completely insignificant. The next second his uncle condensed the fire in the blink of an eye. Then swing your sleeves. Countless silk threads burned in the blink of an eye. Right when two people are facing each other. At this time the Marquis quietly cast lightning magic. And all of this is under his control. Simultaneously, a golden lightning bolt was rushing straight towards me. Right in that moment, hanging by a thread, I appeared calm again. Then I immediately raised my hand. Creates an extremely large lightning rod. The next second, that lightning was guided into the lightning rod. At this moment the Marquis looked incredulous again. He was curious what magic this was. But how can I tell you? Because this is very important information. Hearing that, the Marquis immediately looked angry. It seems that lightning rods are very effective, because all lightning is absorbed by it. Normally, water magic is said to overcome fire magic, but in reality it is not, because only fire magic is strong enough. We'll be able to evaporate water in the blink of an eye. And I did a lot of research as a child, because I'm very curious about all kinds of magic. Fire magic can overcome earth magic. Water magic can overcome plant magic. Wind magic can be blocked using stone and steel. But only lightning magic is an exception. In spite of stone and earth magic can be used to prevent it. But if you encounter a strong opponent, then this measure will not work. But right now, I remember the lightning rod I used in my previous life. Even though this is my first time using it. But it seems the lightning rod's effectiveness isn't bad. Simultaneously, look at your uncle being extremely hateful. This time your life is over. I just raised my hand and summoned a giant beast. Then a palm hit him hard on the ground. His uncle then collapsed in a pool of blood. The next one will be one-on-one. Even if you can block these low-level magic, but this infinite anger. How are you going to cope? After one attack finished dealing with his uncle, next only you are left. Simultaneously, I raised my hand and summoned many magical swords. But they were all defended by the Marquis using a magic shield. So I upgraded the magic sword to limitless. Magic sword is exactly as the name suggests. It's an endless magic sword. Although in terms of individuals, the damage of magic swords is very weak. But when the quantity reaches a certain level, they will become strong enough. The next second, countless magical swords rushed straight towards the Marquis. Even though the Marquis tried his best to defend. But because the quantity is really too much, the sound of broken shields came. The strongest magician on the continent fell here. And he lost at the hands of a child who had just turned 17 years old. But he still found it difficult to believe this. Because even though he has a talent for learning magic, or calmness in battle, these are not things a 17-year-old should have. In the end, who is our true identity? Then the Marquis fell heavily to the ground. Although I won't kill him, but I will seal his magician ability. Just like what he wanted to do to his mother, I will destroy everything he has. Right now. Mom stopped my actions. But I feel extremely confused about this. Even Kana and Selena hoped I would stop. That's enough for Iron. Even though my mother knew I was very talented with magic, but she didn't expect it. I am now a level 7 Archmage. Even the demon statues that no one can restore were created by me. Even one blow can defeat the captain. He still doesn't believe it. Little innocent and adorable Iron. Now I can shoulder everything alone. Great Mage level 7. But because they have already learned their lesson, I think they definitely won't do it again. But I just feel that my mother's thoughts are too naive. This type of person cannot repent. They will definitely come back to take revenge. Although that is also possible. But at least we have their secret. So at least they won't act rashly. And one more important point is, if I take the liberty of sealing the Marquis's magical ability, then the Empire will definitely unleash a storm of blood and wind. By then everyone will be in danger. After a moment of thinking, I agreed with my mother. So let's leave this disgusting place. Find a quiet place to live. And based on their strength, no matter where you are, you can enjoy extraordinary treatment. Although in life, rights are very important. But friendship is the most important thing. So absolutely do not forget this. Then I asked the two from the bottom of my heart. Are you two willing to become my family? Will you continue living with me? Naturally, they gave an affirmative answer. At the same time, I signaled the Golden Knight to move forward. Then I saw him kneeling on the ground right on the spot. This mission was completed quite well. And it's about time he got a name. From now on my name will be Tana. After instructing everything is done. Just when we were about to cast magic and leave here, then we saw a shadow blocking our way. Don't you dare leave here. Right after that, a sharp slashing attack rushed straight towards us. It's here, it's here. The final form of the Golden Knight finally appeared. Just as we were about to leave, a slashing attack blocked our path. Luckily, Tana was able to stop it in time. If not, the consequences will be dire. Simultaneously, the prince is slowly walking into everyone's sight, but facing such a strong opponent. I immediately ordered Tana to activate her third form. The next second, Tana immediately complete the transition to the third form. Then he immediately used overwhelming force to reverse the situation. Even the Duke couldn't help but exclaim, "If you can side with the Empire, that's fine. But sorry. I attacked the clan. Einhard, especially important to the Empire. And this is equivalent to declaring war on the Empire. Even though he desperately wanted to avoid conflict with me. But it seems the current situation does not allow it. Right now, the prince is next door, impatiently signaling to the Duke. Quickly deal with these people. And I never wanted to join the Empire. Because I want to destroy that name. Immediately after that I gave an order to Tana, restrain the Duke's actions. The next second saw Tana summoning a golden sword from nowhere. Then immediately began to fight with the Duke, so next is one-on-one. I gave in to you once before. Now, you once again looked at my mother with those dirty eyes. This time I absolutely will not forgive you. Right now. My mother shouted for me to come back. Can't you just leave here directly? Anyway, confronting the prince is really too dangerous. But I signaled my mother not to worry. Because I already have arrangements. Look at the large crowd of soldiers. I swung my hand to use the infinite magic sword. Even though they were wearing sturdy armor. But for me it has absolutely no effect. Simultaneously, I waved my hand in million, summon a giant hammer. Then he swung a full force blow at the prince. The next second the prince was sent flying dozens of meters away. This time must have caused him a lot of internal injuries. Foreign injuries can be recovered with treatment, but internal injuries can only be cured for so long. The Duke next to him saw this and was extremely worried. Even though he wanted to quickly help the prince, but now he is. Just dealing with Tana was extremely difficult. Right now, I signaled Tana to return to the other dimension. Then I saw Tana's whole body radiating golden light, and the next second, the Duke released a lot of sword energy towards Tana. Even though it all pierced Tana, but in the blink of an eye, Tana immediately recovered perfectly like before, then immediately disappeared on the spot. Even the Duke couldn't stop exclaiming about this. This is truly a monster. Simultaneously, just saw me take out a gold coin to record everything. It then turned into a ball of light floating in his hand, and me now, muttering to the prince. Everything you have done is recorded here. If you dare to find us and cause trouble, then this thing will appear all over the continent. And I'm very sorry for causing this trouble, if possible. I hope we can become friends next time we meet. Then we use teleportation magic to leave here. What a useless genius. If it can appear in another way, that's fine. But how should he handle these things? Not long after that, everything happened in the Einhart family. They were all covered up. But the story is about genius, the wizard and the golden knight, beginning to spread on this land. And this also became my first amazing debut on this land. To not be considered a mutant. I've always hidden my talents since childhood, because no one believes that. Because there isn't, who will believe, a child in just 7 years achieved a realm that takes others 40 years to achieve. And what's more important is not to make it public, can protect family better. Not long after the Einhart family incident, we went to a remote mountainous area to live. Right now I'm thinking about what to do next, despite destroying the Einhart family. At the same time, the prince was seriously injured. But what if we return to Banzak? Then it will definitely bring big trouble to those around you. But in my hands I still hold the secrets of the empire and family. So at least they won't take it easy on us. Furthermore, I learned a lot from this battle. I have extremely fast casting speed, and the strongest magic combination. If combined with additional support magic, then I will become an almost invincible existence. At the same time, the Golden Knight is also extremely strong. Even I didn't expect it. He could fight evenly with the Duke. It seems like spending 5 years working on this, still very meaningful. If mass production is possible, then world domination is not far away. But sorry, this is not possible. Because it takes at least 3 years to create one. It even consumes a large amount of materials. But in that battle, I discovered something particularly important. That is, personal power is always limited. After the Einhart family incident, the forces of every country on the mainland have targeted me. And I need to, before they find me, create your own power. But what should I do, right now? Mom and the others came to my room, and my mother is very curious. When did I become so strong? From then until now, my magical talents are excellent. So since childhood I have kept this secret, because I know, if someone else has the intention to know, it will cause unnecessary trouble. Although it contains the merits of previous lives. But I can't tell my mother these things. But I'm still my mother's only son. Of course everyone has their own suffering. No matter what I do, I will always be my mother's child. More to come. We will have to prepare for life later. Anyway, this happened. So we can't return to Ban Zekri, in the Serdia mainland. In the east there are 5 empires. There are also many magic towers. In the west, there are hundreds of countries united. Except for some powerful countries, there are almost no magic towers in existence, and I want to build my own magic tower, in a city without magic towers. It is said that only mages of level 7 or higher can create it, because when fighting breaks out, the attack ability of the magic tower is amazing. The cost of reconstruction is paid by that country's government. So where do you want to build? Taurian Kingdom. That place has vast lands and fertile grasslands, not just the large population, but even fighting ability. Both are much stronger than other countries. But that their country doesn't have a single magic tower. So this has led to monsters being infested every year. But the loss was heavy, especially the mantises nearby. If we suggest a surprise attack, then the king will definitely agree. And the king is an extremely outstanding talent, and gained the trust of great nobles. But because of conflicts between princes, so he still couldn't do anything. But this is not an issue we need to worry about. We just need to find a solution. Monsters of Mantis Valley and Beastman Forest. I believe the king's army can handle the Beastman Forest. So we just need to deal with it. Monsters in Mantis Valley are okay? Hearing that, everyone fell into thought, and Kaina is very curious. Can he find a sword teacher there? Of course. Anyway, what I can teach you is just how to breathe. Want to learn swordsmanship? Still need to find a teacher. And Selena also expressed the desire to become stronger. Because after going through the story of Einhart the First, she just realized how weak she is. Even my mother had the same thought. So let's try our best together for that goal. Next is the Taurian Kingdom. Just create normal ghost puppets. You can immediately become the ruler of the empire. So what if there was a golden knight with a sense of autonomy? Then it will shake the whole continent. Right after we decided to go to the Taurian kingdom, the Taurian monarch at this time, investigating monsters appearing in the forest. The number of monsters tends to increase significantly. Just keep growing like that. Sooner or later the kingdom will fall into danger. Scene transition. The king was now worried about Taurian's future because of his 3 sons. Because of the fight over inheritance rights, they fought to the point of breaking their heads and foreheads, but the duke reminded him not to worry. In any case, the current struggle is more beneficial to the kingdom's development. But he suggested that the 3rd prince should succeed, would be more appropriate. Because the eldest Prince Maxwell has a cruel temper. Just consider others as objects to be treated. 2nd Prince Klain is a two-faced person. His heart was as dark as the great prince's. Neither of them is suitable to become a king. Only the 3rd Prince Eudaimwin is most suitable to become king, because he has a peaceful personality, have a large tolerance heart, and possess the ability to lead others. Although he is the most suitable person to become the king, but sorry. 90% of the nobles will support the 1st prince or 2nd prince, but luck is the 3rd prince. There are 2 very strong pursuers, Captain of the Royal Guard, Duke Lias, and the Knight Captain, Count Lumiere. Thanks to the 2 people holding most of the army in their hands, only then can the current situation be created. But if the 1st prince and the 2nd prince join forces, push the 3rd prince down from the stage, then it will be very bad. And the king is feeling a headache right now. Because I care too much about these things. So he was negligent in guarding against magical beasts. Now you should concentrate on solving these monsters first, right now. I just saw everyone entering a state of preparation for battle one after another. Because they were surrounded by enemies on all sides. At this time a soldier suddenly launched a surprise attack. It turns out he was an enemy in disguise from the beginning, but the king felt very confused about this. Why did he choose to betray and leave the Taurian kingdom at the same time? In the magic tower, important matters are being discussed. Charisman said the owner issued 2 directives. First, the plan was to assassinate the king. Rodolphe is working in Mantis Valley. And after it ends, the 1st prince will ascend the throne. Now what you need to do is use your demon knight. Clear the surrounding areas where monsters appear. And take advantage of the Taurian kingdom's fighting power. Go dominate the surrounding countries. But the old man seemed unconcerned. Anyway, for the magic doll he created. So this is just a piece of cake. And the second thing is, I heard that in the Storm Empire, there are demonic knights. Old man Wentz immediately felt very surprised, because in his perception, he is the only person who can create magic puppets. And the Einhard family, something big happened. A 7th level mage and his demon knight destroyed Einhard. Their strength is at least at the level of masters. And that ghost has a sense of autonomy. Old man Wentz immediately felt overwhelmed, surprised, and Karosman was very curious. In the end, how strong is the demon puppet you created? Because the current Olhatan belongs to an era of decline. He can only create demon puppets that have no self-control. But a month can only produce 1 child. Even the old man didn't expect it. But there are still people who can create demon puppets. And there is also a sense of autonomy. But Karosman said this is absolutely nothing to worry about. Anyway, this kind of demon statue, it takes several years to create. But we can't just sit and wait to die. So he signaled to the old man, collect all information related to this demon statue. Of course, the old man was clearly very interested in this. Simultaneously, at this time I arrived at the Taurian kingdom. But how should I meet the king? If I show off my prestige that I came here, it will cause unnecessary trouble. So in the end, what should I do best, right now? Just feeling my magic power give me a response. This wavelength is at least a sword saint level. Looks like that person came from the north near the forest. Moreover, it is very close to the royal palace. Could that be the king? So I decided to come take a look. At the same time, I only saw a knight trying to slash towards the king. But the next second, the magic shield was thrown away. Although I'm not sure what happened. But I know I can't stand by and watch. Just how strong is the Golden Knight's sense of self-control? Just 1 team. Enough to compare with the entire military strength of a country. Just when the king was about to be murdered, my appearance promptly prevented this. But do you need time to explain? Even though you'll all die here in the end, At the same time, I only saw a soldier next to me shouting at me, "Please protect your majesty well." And I was startled. This name is the country, Torian King. I got it. So these guys are enemies, huh? Then I raised my hand, condensing a stream of energy. The next second, just saw a pair of hands tearing apart space in the blink of an eye. Just then, a giant golden knight appeared. Immediately appeared before everyone's eyes. Only then did the two people react. It turned out to be the Golden Knight. Maybe I'm the teenager in the legend. Destroyed the Einhart family. Right at this moment, in my hand an ice flower had already condensed. The next second, I only saw countless ice flowers blooming on the ground, and limit the enemy's actions. Right after that, I signaled Tana to start taking action, but remember to leave a few survivors. Along with Tana summoning the golden sword in her hand, all enemies in just a moment has been completely destroyed. As for the king on one side, he had an unbelievable look on his face. Look at everything that is happening before your eyes. At this time he confirmed, I am the rumored teenage genius. The highest magician in the kingdom only has 6 swords. If I will stay here, then the future of the kingdom will be immeasurable. At the same time, just saw me turn towards the king and introduce myself, and expressed that it was an honor to meet him. Furthermore, helping your majesty is just a small matter. As for the survivors, can help you find out who is behind the scenes, to express my gratitude. So the king immediately offered to reward me. After a while of careful thinking, I agreed. Then after making an appointment to meet again tomorrow, I immediately used magic to leave this place. At this time, the duke next to him thought, he is definitely the person in the rumors. The boy who destroyed the Einhart family, and him. Maybe it can help us solve the monster invasion problem, based on his strength. Breaking through the 8 realms of the great magician. It's just a matter of sooner or later. On the other hand, I told everyone what had just happened, although it was a bit sudden. But what should he do to gain the king's support? No need to worry about this, because I've already thought of a countermeasure. Right now, I just saw a group of drunks coming to talk to my mother and others. As for me, my face darkened. Please don't come near my family. After that, they were afraid and left. As for Kaina and Serena, their faces were red. As for my mother, I immediately understood what they were thinking. But this kind of third-rate product, you two should also be able to cope. Hearing that even my mother had a headache, because I'm really a real jerk. Scene transition. At this time, the magicians in the kingdom, leisurely waiting for my arrival. Right now, a teleportation magic appeared before his eyes. And as soon as he saw it, he knew that this was high-level magic. The next second, I stepped out from the teleportation magic. It seems that you are the magician who saved His Majesty. I can finally lighten the burden. As for me, I had a puzzled look on my face. What exactly is this name? How rare is it to not have to recite poetry? Even the 40-year-old pink-haired guy. I also need to ask for some advice. But when I just arrived at the palace, unexpectedly he rushed straight into my arms. When I'm feeling very confused about this, he just realized he was too sudden. He immediately said he would lead me to your majesty, but he hoped to discuss magic on the way. Watch out. This person still has a very high enthusiasm for learning magic. Scene transition. Just saw me raise my hand. Just use magic. Even the uncle couldn't stop shouting. Yet it can be deployed in such a short time. This is simply a head-in. The number of great magicians of the 7th rank. Then he fell into deep contemplation. How did I end up doing it? And the scenery of the kingdom attracted my attention. This place is exactly as rumored. Not only is food abundant, and the resources are also extremely rich. Looks like Torian is really a good place. Look at your studious appearance like that. That's it. I immediately gave him the magic formula I invented. But after seeing this method, he realized that there are talented people and even more talented people. The sky is high and there is a sky higher. Although I usually don't tell others about this method, but seeing him so friendly, I will impart it to you. But please remember to keep it a secret. Transition screen. We have arrived before the king, and I just met the king. He kept praising me for being extremely excellent. But it was clear that the king had already known that he was that kind of person. Then he signaled him to step down. But I'm very curious. Why is there no guard next to the king? Maybe it makes me feel more natural. Next I knelt down before the king and expressed appreciation that the king had extended the invitation. At the same time, only to see the king suddenly kneel down in front of me And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for saving him. Then he invited me to eat and talk. As for me, I'll go straight to the point. Or you should hire me as a magician for your country. Your country needs to build a magic tower after all. Not wrong. Because this can not only strengthen the nation's fighting power, but it can also prevent monster invasions every year. If I will stay in the kingdom, then these problems can be easily solved. But because of the struggle for the throne, the Taurian kingdom is currently in a precarious situation. For the revival of the kingdom, to build a magic tower of my own, to be able to help the third prince safely ascend the throne, he had to borrow my strength. Of course I'm willing to help the kingdom, but I have 3 conditions. First, I needed 3 years to build the magic tower. Hearing that, the king immediately felt extremely surprised. After all, there is already a territory invaded by monsters. Just keep going like that. Luberus won't last. Previously it was because of the existence of magicians, only can fight monsters. But when the magicians disappeared one after another, the territory immediately lost its ability to resist. Could it be that it was caused by the Einhart family? Currently the territory still exists. It was entirely thanks to Count Lubius' daughter, presiding over the general department. But what if the monster attacks again? Then next time the territory will no longer exist. Although I can understand your feelings, but 3 years cannot be shortened. After all, building a magic tower takes that much time. As for the monsters in Mantis Valley, I will help you solve it. Since birth, I was a genius magician that was rare on the continent. Only with mathematical knowledge accumulated from previous lives, it is possible to modify the magic structure and create new magic. Even because of that, make my mother take a step, become a legendary level 6 great mage. As for me, in my previous life, in order to save people, I unfortunately died in a car accident. Then he moved to the magical world. While unintentionally, I have lived here for 7 years, and through data I learn, this world has class division. There are magicians here who can control magic, writers can use aura, even priests can use divine power. More importantly, my mother is a mage skilled in 3rd level magic. It's worth mentioning, this world's magic formula, very similar to mathematics. So I entered when I was 7 years old, has mastered level 2 magic. Even though my magic power is currently limited, but not more than 3 years, I will definitely become a level 3 magician, and today, it is the time when my mother goes to the market once a month. She will go to a large village nearby to sell tea, so I decided to go with my mother, and take this opportunity to see the outside world, but his mother refused. Because you don't know I can use magic. Furthermore, there are many monsters on the road. Thinking of my mother walking alone on these dangerous roads, I couldn't help but feel a little bitter in my heart. This further fueled my desire to become strong, because in this world, if you become a level 5 mage, you will receive treatment that is only 1 level lower than that of the Baron. If you are a level 7 archmage, then you can live your whole life carefree and worry-free. And my dream is to become a level 7 great mage. After that, he and his mother lived happily together. Then under the attack of sweet words, Mom finally agreed to my request. But I have to make sure not to do anything dangerous. And you will be responsible for protecting my safety. Of course I believe Mom. Transition screen. At this moment we are walking on a small path in the forest. And I feel extremely curious about everything before me. Anyway, this is the first time I leave home, so I was extremely excited. A moment later, Mom signaled me to sit and rest for a while, and now, a monster next to me caught my attention. Are they beastmen again? At this moment, my mother was afraid that I would be startled, but unexpectedly I appeared very happy. It seems that these are the green beans described in the book. Hearing that, the beastman immediately became angry. At the same time, I saw my mother condensing fire magic in her hand. Then he spoke up and muttered, "Don't worry, Eliel, Mom will protect you." Next, a giant fireball immediately flew towards the monsters. A moment later, they were burned to a crisp. After that I was even more scared and ran away from here. I didn't expect my mother to be so powerful, and for my safety, so my mother started educating me about monsters. Giants have super high healing ability. Demons have extremely high defense ability. Among them, giant's blood is very popular, because it has the ability to regenerate. And the skin of a demon is an extremely expensive thing, because it is extremely difficult to capture. So is it if I catch them? So can you earn a lot of money? Then my mother told me, our destination is a city called Banzak, and to arrive, About 3 days left? Don't know if I can keep up. Of course I gave her an affirmative answer. After many arduous days of wading through streams and climbing the pass, we finally arrived. And this will be the first step for me to become rich. Transition screen. We have arrived in the city. This probably is the most exciting scene I've seen in years. At the same time, under the guidance of Mother, we went to a store called Dibel. And he has been waiting for a long time. When two people are chatting, he noticed me again, a small boy standing next to him. And he seemed extremely curious about my appearance. So my mother introduced me to him. My son's name is Ali, is my mother's lovely son. Just as he was about to greet me, the next second he felt extremely surprised again. Because I have different eyes compared to my friends my age. And I was aware that he was judging me. Right when he was still stunned, his mother's voice brought him back to reality, then immediately gave him tea. And through the conversation between him and his mother, it is not difficult to see that he treats people very gently. A moment later we left this place. At this moment he seemed extremely happy, because he believes that my future will definitely have achievements. Image transfer. We will go to the magic tower, because Mom needs to sell mana stones with runes engraved on them. Mana stone is a type of stone imbued with magical power, can help ordinary people easily use magic. Although I have a way to make the process of engraving magic power simpler, but because the materials are very expensive, so I don't dare try the easy way. But I heard, in the magic tower there are magic books and materials for sale. In the magic tower, legendary level 9 magic books can be purchased, even level 10. But currently the strongest mage on the continent only reached level 9. From past to present, there has never been a level 10 great magician in legend, so I was immediately stunned. It seems he wants to become the strongest mage. I still need to go a very long way. Image transfer. We went to the magic tower. Then he immediately sold the mana stone to the middle-aged man, and he seemed very welcoming to my appearance. Next, he introduced his son to us, Gadaric. At just 12 years old, he reached level 1 mage. Then signaled him to demonstrate the magic key energy, and the next second, I only saw his hands condense a stream of energy. I decided before the age of 10 that I would not show my abilities, but now I can't stand it anymore. I can also do this bit of magical energy. And she thought I was lying. But the next second, a powerful stream of magical power exploded instantly. Next I let out a loud scream of demonic energy. In the blink of an eye, there was a burst of energy. Power has condensed in my hand. Simultaneously, along with the energy in the hand dissipates, everything returned to peace. Only two people remained stunned in place. Even Mother had a look of disbelief on her face. As expected, my mother's Ali is the best. Simultaneously, I only saw a white-haired old man loudly questioning everyone who was casting magic just now, and he is the owner of this magic tower. Look at his unfathomable magic power. Could this be the strength of a level 7 great mage? Next, he immediately determined that it was me who caused it, because I have eyes that do not match my age. Furthermore, a great mage is an existence that can see into the hearts of others. Then he invited me to the top of the tower, and he was very curious. Even though I use level 1 magic, but my execution time is very short. He wanted to know how I did it in the end, and even level 7 archmage. It also takes an extremely long time to cast the spell, if in combat. Absolutely the road to death, that's it. He wanted to ask me how to chant this spell quickly, and I laughed. This world-class hidden technique, you won't want it at any cost, but it comes out of my mouth. Hearing that even the old man did not expect it. I'm cunning like that? So as long as your conditions are met, it's fine. Of course I gave an affirmative answer. Then I immediately stated my conditions. I need level 8 and level 9 magic books, and some magic stones. Hearing that, the old man immediately felt extremely surprised. Although he didn't know what I was thinking. But he will prepare some books for me, and lots of magic stones. So the two happily completed this transaction. But even he didn't expect it. A 7-year-old child, so difficult to deal with. Then I immediately advised the old man. Please keep what happened here a secret. Image transfer. At this moment, my mother asked me with a surprised look on her face. Just how did I learn magic? And I owe it to the magic books in the house, along with self-invented magic formulas to study. In my previous life, I loved solving difficult problems, because I can find joy in the process of answering. But magic formulas are much more difficult than mathematics. And I just need to slightly modify the magic structure. You can just keep your power intact. just shortened the chanting time. Even my mother couldn't help but praise me as a genius. I don't know, or it's been 2 years. At this time my mother had mastered level 4 magic. And we also moved from Lunk village to near the magic tower, but today, on the way to the magic tower, something unexpected happened. Just see. 2 young women are being treated like dogs, being ordered around, even got punched and kicked. So I immediately took action to stop them. Look at these 2 pitiful people. At this time, Mother had finished condensing the fire. Anyway, we don't need to communicate with these people. Under the coordination of Mother, the enemy was quickly defeated by us. Then we took off the collars from their necks. Now you guys are okay? And when I heard what they said, I had nowhere to go. Mother immediately decided to accept them. Scene transition. Now I have turned 12 years old. Today Selena called me up as usual. I saw magic condensing in her hand. The next second a small golden bird appeared. Just flew around me. A moment later, I opened my dreamy eyes. And kudos to Selena, his magic is becoming more and more powerful. But he worked all day. You still have to learn magic with me. Don't you feel tired? But she said it again. It was a bit tiring at first. But after feeling the joy of magic, she doesn't feel tired anymore. Then, she signaled me to quickly get up. Scene transition. At this time Kana was the same as usual. Just finished sword training. That he can find joy from swordsmanship. The more he swung the sword in his hand, he feels more energized. Can't even wait. Want to show me the results of your training? Their age is approximately the same as mine, but has a tragic past. At first I was worried. They won't get used to living with us. But it seems my worries were unnecessary. Selena has a talent for magic. She was now a mage skilled in first level magic. As for Kana, she relies on excellent motor skills. Conducts swordsmanship training. I believe that in the not too distant future, they will definitely have achievements. Simultaneously, Mom is happy. Wave goodbye to us? Could something good happen? That's right, now I am already a mage proficient in level 5 magic. Hearing that, everyone took turns congratulating. And I've finished thinking about how to celebrate. Just when everyone feels doubtful, I led them inside the magic tower, although the old man was very dissatisfied with the fact that I had not visited him for a long time. Extremely dissatisfied, but thanks to my fast chanting, made him win the battle with other magicians, get the win. But he was very curious. Why did I come here at this time? So I started to explain. Just saw me placing each mana stone block on the table. At this time the old man was extremely surprised. Because this is the most difficult type of magic stone to obtain on the current continent. Am I the one who created them? This type of magic stone has magic power equivalent to high-grade magic stone. But it's different from these types of magic stones. Magic stone is only possible, single use, and it can be recharged for continued use. Because of this extremely rare manufacturing technique, so it also attracted the magic towers to compete with each other. Even though everyone around them could see their silhouettes. But luckily they haven't taken any action yet, and I consider it. Maybe Tower Master Grandfather will be interested in this. It's also possible. After a moment of contemplation, the Tower Master's grandfather signaled me to state the conditions. But you only need to meet me 4 conditions. Is it possible to get a way to make magic stones? And the right to sell. First, please protect my family with magic tower. Because after all, when the strongest magic tower on the continent received magic stones, they will no longer target us. Second is, I need some books related to swordsmanship and magic. Because the talents of these 2 people are so outstanding, so we need more books to study. Third is, please arrange a good hotel for us. Because my mother has become a level 5 mage. So I wanted to help her celebrate. Listen. My mother immediately burst into tears, because for me, protecting this peace is the most important thing. Simultaneously, the Tower Master asked me what the final condition was. I need books related to making magical statues. Therefore the Tower Master felt extremely surprised. Because of that, even if there is a design, can't create that either. But I told him again, I'm just curious. And I know it well. To realize your ultimate goal, I must have a magic statue. But after the magic stone incident, time has passed very quickly. 4 years have passed. Right now there are a few assassins loitering near my house. They have received the mandate. It is necessary to safely capture the person who created the magic stone, but if you dare to resist, then kill without mercy. Simultaneously, I had already prepared myself in front of them, and confirmed their thoughts. After that, only 3 giant ghost statues were seen. suddenly appeared behind them, but the enemy just reacted. He raised his hand and swung the sword in his hand. But the next second, the sword was hard and broke in half, then came their pitiful screams. A moment later, the demon statue lifted up. The two immediately walked towards the deep forest. Even though they are still unfinished demon statues, but they possess great strength and agility. But since I got the book about ghost statues, I devoted all my attention to creating the demon statue. Although they do a very good job of guarding, but compared to my goal, I am still very far behind. Scene transition. Today is the same as usual. Selena is preparing breakfast, and Kana just returned from training. Still want to perform for me a bit. But the only difference is that Mom is not here. Simultaneously, Mom is trying to control this huge fire. Because only when completely controlling it, Mom can become a level 6 great mage. But in the end they all failed. At this time, I'm calling my mother to come home for dinner, but his mother refused. Mom must quickly become a level 6 great mage. Because mothers have their own suffering, and here. It was also the first time I saw my mother with such an expression. It seems that Mom is really worried. Afterward, I immediately remembered a way to improve concentration. If you give this method to your mother, maybe it will help her. Abdominal breathing method. Focus your attention on your belly. Take deep breaths through your nose. Then exhale all the air in your body through your mouth. Just learn this. They will be able to improve their concentration, but clearly, the two girls are not suitable for this breathing method. It seems that this is extremely difficult for them. But my mother next to me seemed extremely focused. Even the other two found it hard to believe, and I can feel it. Magic power is slowly condensing towards mother. At this moment, she was wholeheartedly feeling the magic power. Magic power slowly penetrated her entire body, and growing rapidly. But this is something she has never felt before. It seems Ellie is truly a genius, but that's exactly why. To create a better growth environment for me, she must return there. When mother slowly opened her eyes, she could feel it now. Magic power is flowing in the body, and the next second, with just one hand, mother summoned a giant fireball. Then it's easy to change the shape in your hand. Just have this. She can definitely become a level 6 great mage. Looking at my mother, she was smiling again. At this point I finally breathed a sigh of relief, and now, there was only one thought left in my mind. That is to quickly complete the making of the demon statue. But that's why I ignored my mother's change. If only I had paid attention to this at the time, perhaps we will always live peacefully together. But these are all things that happen in the future. Right after Mom promoted to level 6 Grand Mage, I've been engrossed in making magic statues, and me. If you want to create a demon statue that can have its own consciousness, but this is not an easy task. For that it is necessary to use level 8 spiritual magic. With my current strength, it's basically impossible. Then, the only way left is to use this black magic through a large amount of negative emotions to form an ego. Although I can understand the theory, but I couldn't do it, after all. For someone like me who has just mastered level 6 magic, it's really too difficult. Apparently before becoming a level 7 great mage, I can't grasp it at all. And now I have absolutely no clue. When mother successfully promoted to level 6 great mage, I must have missed some important detail. At the same time, Selena next to me interrupted my thoughts. Because it's time to test her magic training, but I'm very curious. Could it be that she encountered some difficulty? Then I saw her open her mouth to explain. Although it's a bit difficult to speak. But she wants to know what the nature of magic is, because, besides the feeling of magical power filling my whole body, she can also sense different types of magical power, mixed in the body, and she doesn't understand what this means. How powerful and unique are they? So she wanted to find me for answers. But after hearing her words, I felt like I was struck by lightning. The next second I turned around to look for the magic stone, then use magic power to feel each magic stone. Just like she said, magic stones contain many different types of magic power. Different types of magical power mix and intertwine with each other, form magic. At this point I finally found my breaking point. It turns out there are many different types of magic power, and I want to know more. That's it. I was completely immersed in my inner world. Here magic power is like a vast ocean. Under the dotted stars, it looks extremely beautiful. This reminds me. The game I used to play in my previous life, when attacking the copy. Teammates will become especially important. Through mastering the characteristics of each individual, then proceed to distribute and combine appropriately. We'll be able to show the strongest power, and this is where I am best at, based on different combinations. Perhaps I can create the strongest magic. Then next I should start experimenting. Then I raised my hand and placed the magic stone, floating in the air. If I rearrange these categories in a new combination, then the strongest magic can definitely be created, along with the constantly expanding magic power in his hand. If we continue to develop in this direction, so sooner or later I will be caught up in this power. But to become a legendary level 7 great mage, I have to give it my all. At the same time, the world of magic has collapsed, and the next second, the immortal phoenix amidst golden light suddenly appeared before my eyes. Just when I was about to reach out and touch it, I suddenly woke up from the dream, caught my eye. It was Selena's worried face. And I was very confused as to why I was lying on the ground. But the most important thing now is, now I have upgraded my magic level. Because Selena's reminder helped me wake up, but she was very curious. What level of magic have I finally mastered? Because she felt it from me. A type of magic stronger than Mother? But I don't want to talk about this. And I know it well. In the near future, my goal will definitely be achieved. Waiting for me, the strongest demon knight on the continent. Right when I was happy because I had broken through myself. At this moment, my mother had a confiding look on her face. Although this place is a very suitable place for retreat, but for me, to be able to have a better growing environment, Mom was forced to make a decision. It is returning to the old hometown full of painful memories. Because of this, she hopes for her deceased father can protect me well. Image switched. Today is my 17th birthday. That's it. I decided to show off my wardrobe for everyone to see. After a while of struggling, I only eat golden egg fried rice and kimchi. Has conquered everyone's taste buds. Look at the empty plate. I feel extremely happy, and right now, Mom said she wanted to talk to me again. Look at my mother's sincere expression, so I agreed. Scene transition. We were silent in the room for a long time. Could it be that my mother doesn't like the food I make? Just when I thought that, Mom's words pulled me back to reality, and Mother said, there are some things that it's time for me to know about my mother and father's past. Mother is actually the daughter of the Marquis Einhart family. Mother comes from the Storm Empire. Hearing that, I immediately opened my eyes wide. Yet it is Einhart of the Storm Empire. On this continent, there are hundreds of countries. The Storm Empire is one of the 5 strongest nations. Among them is the Marquis Einhart family, famous for cultivating many excellent magicians, which is world famous. I heard Marquis Einhart about to break through to become a level 8 great mage, and his son, also holding national power as a level 7 grand mage, hold the real power of the country. Although I used to have doubts about my mother's true identity, anyway, the necklace my mother wears. It is a sacred weapon that only level 7 great mages can create, and all the books in this house. Unless you come from a famous family. Otherwise it will be difficult to reach. Then Mom started talking. When the mother was born less than 4 days ago, I lost my mother and grew up in the care of his brother and father, but mature. When my mother was 7 years old, the family takes the name of Marriage. Gave her mother to the Prince of the Storm Empire. But my mother is a person who deeply desires freedom. Mom wants to live life on her own terms, and now, Rin's arrival changed everything. Even though he is the mage of the mother family. But he encouraged his mother to pursue freedom. So on the big wedding day, Mother decides to run away with Rain and start walking on the path to finding freedom. Even though the path to pursuing freedom is extremely arduous, but just be with Rain. Mom feels very happy. But less than a year, they were taken back to the Einhart family. Even though my mother used death to threaten my father, want him to forgive Rain, but he did not accept. But if Mom agrees to stay here forever, he would consider sparing Rain. Just like that, with my mother's consent, the two were eventually released. But just as the two were making their final farewell, only saw a downward slash of the sword. Dad just left this world forever, and here, as punishment for tarnishing the reputation of the Einhart family, here comes this scene. It has become a memory that my mother can never erase. Afterward, because Mom broke off her engagement with the Empire, so he was expelled from the family. But their parents wanted to maintain the family's honor. So I arranged for my mother to live here, only when becoming a level 6 archmage. Only Mother has the right to return there. But my mother at that time no longer wanted to live. But my appearance changed everything. Watch me grow up healthy. That was my mother's happiest time. Mom wants to give me all the best things. So I had to return to that family. Ellie, I want that name back. Now my mother is qualified to return. Just go back there. Children will have a better growing up environment. Ellie, let's go back together. But faced with the decision to return to her mother's clan, I'm extremely confused. Why did Mom have to return to that scary place? The treatment that the Einhart family enjoys, compared to this country's nobles. There is a difference in nature. Present. Marquis Einhart's status is equal to that of the royal family, and she hopes I can make the most of it, your own potential, in a better environment. So I hope I can consider this. Look at my mother's serious face. I don't think I can refuse this offer. So I agreed with my mother. Then next you should prepare to leave this place. A moment later, I walked out of the room. I just saw two people looking very worried. They don't know what their future will be. They are slaves after all. If I return to the Einhart family, then they can't continue following me. But I say this with absolutely no need to worry. Because you guys are my family, I will create a reasonable identity for you. So the two of them finally laughed happily. But now I'm preparing to go somewhere. So I asked the two of you to get ready for departure. Because I can't change my mother's mind. Then there's only one thing left to do. Scene transition. I went to the Bell store. Because I gave them the right to trade magic stones. So now they have become the leader in this industry. And today I came here because I have a favor to ask. After all, they have a huge information network. Of course he answered firmly about this. But the next words shocked him. Because I want to know everything related to the Einhart family. And this was also the first time he saw it. I showed such a serious expression. So he started telling the story. Marquis Einhart family. A family with a history of 700 years. In the Storm Empire, there is a famous family. One of the most famous families in the empire. Because he has trained 3 level 8 great magicians. And in this family there are hundreds of magicians. At that time the Marquis had a great influence. As long as he wants, he can mobilize thousands and thousands of dharmas. Monk after the escape incident occurred, his reputation became even more famous. Confronting the Marquis's daughter on her wedding night, ran away with another man. The prince and Marquis nevertheless forgave her, and helped them live peacefully. It is important to know that at that time, this kind of thing happened. There is only one way to die. So everyone praised the Marquis and the prince. How generous. My words were extremely surprised. Obviously did such a scary thing. Yet they still took advantage of their mother so they could have an heir. But there are also rumors that the Marquis will stop at nothing to have an heir for the family. Therefore he advised me not to get involved with them. If we go back there, they will definitely accept Mom. But Mom will most likely be taken advantage of by them again. If they do this again, I absolutely will not ignore them. At the same time, Daiba reminded me, lately the Master Tower has been very lonely. Image conversion. I immediately turned around and went into the tower. And I brought the Master Tower an exquisite gift. That is the blueprint of the Demon Knight. Hearing that, the Tower Master immediately appeared wide-eyed and open-mouthed. But according to the current situation, want to create a demon with a sense of autonomy, it's almost impossible. The Tower Master who was on the side heard it, but didn't seem to care at all. Very clear. With a glance he saw through my true thoughts. But he didn't question me further. Then I immediately told him. The news is that I'm about to leave here, and most likely won't come back again. After thinking for a moment, I only saw the Tower Master mumbling and saying it. This is very important to me. Just rest assured and do it. He believes in my talent. Anywhere you can make a name for yourself. And he looks forward to growing up. In my future there is a day I will come back to visit you. Image conversion. After saying goodbye to everyone, then only this last thing remains. I saw that when I raised my hand, a giant magic formation appeared, and the next second, a demon knight wearing golden armor. It slowly appeared. He is my creation. Ghosts can have a sense of autonomy. Golden Knight. Even though there's nothing important right now, but soon he will have work to do. But before that, you just stay in a different dimension first. After receiving the order, the Golden Knight immediately turned around and entered another dimension, and he is the crystallization of all my magical knowledge, if possible. I hope I never have to use his powers. Then next you should prepare to depart. On the other hand, the Einar family has concluded their investigation of the magic stone, and they finally found the source. But the Marquis was very curious. Why did it take years to investigate? Because the magic weapon that the magic stone creator used was very powerful. Even when sending out the highest assassins, they also left and did not return. Marquis Vanta fell into thought. It seems they have achieved great success, but now all the magic towers are searching for the source of the magic stone. Anyway, the production cost of this type of magic stone is very low. If they have this technique, that would be quite a fortune, and possibly allow Einhar's elite become the top existences on this continent. But what he said next surprised him greatly, because the one who created the magic stone is a magician named Schafel. To be more precise, it would be his son, Ally. Unexpectedly, it was his daughter, so he ordered Schafel to be brought here immediately and tell him to set the conditions for returning to the clan, which he thinks, as long as the family can recognize his son, then he definitely won't be able to refuse. If there is a method to create magic stones, the family can definitely return to its prosperous period. But if this action caused the prince's discomfort, so what should we do? As long as there are no conflicts between the two families, it's okay. Maybe he was a useless guy before, but now he can be effective. At the same time, everyone was on their way back home, and when I think about returning to that scary place, Mother's mood immediately became heavier. In fact, I don't want my mother to go back there. I want to tell my mother that I am now a level 7 Archmage. But I don't know how to explain it in this world. If there was someone at the age of 40 who was proficient in level 7 magic, then this person will be called a genius. As for me, I am only 17 years old and already a level 7 great mage. If I tell Mom, then I will definitely be considered an unusual existence. So I have to bury this secret in my heart. Image conversion. We have arrived outside the teleportation magic circle. Through magic teleportation to the Storm Empire, we can save a lot of time. But was notified again. 4 people going to the Storm Empire need 800 gold coins. This is really too expensive for us. But the uncle is on the side. I thought we couldn't repay this amount of gold, so he signaled us to leave quickly. At the same time, I only saw Kina flying over with a kick. Please don't arbitrarily touch my family. Just when the situation was about to get tense, the person in charge appeared and promptly stopped everything. He first expressed his apology for his uncle's behavior. Then he said, 4 people going to the Empire will have a discount. Just 360 gold coins is enough. After payment is completed, we immediately arrived at the teleportation magic circle, along with several religions. The blue light slowly descended. The next second, we were teleported to the Storm Empire. Just see a prosperous city appearing before your eyes. It seems that this is capital in the Storm Empire. Then Mom signaled to us. We'll stay there for 1 night. But before arriving at the Marquis's palace, we have to register Kina and Serena's identities as a mercenary. According to the strength of 2 people, they can definitely become high-class mercenaries. Right now, Mom looked extremely surprised. It turned out to be His Royal Highness Prince Arcade. Could it be that the prince is my mother's former fiancé? According to the current situation, since my parents were arrested, until his father was brutally killed, it was all caused by the prince. Simultaneously, the prince is pretending to ask after my mother, and asked her whose children these children were. There are 2 people next to me. I thought the prince was very gentle and approachable, but only I know. The real face is hidden behind that mask, because he is a level 7 great mage. I can see into everyone's true thoughts. But he dared to have intentions with my mother. What a disgusting face. Then I started introducing myself. Hello, first meeting, I am your son, Ying Wen. This prince immediately showed disdain on his face. Then, citing work reasons, I had to go first. I just saw him approaching my mother. Whispered into her ear that she could never escape his hands. What a name to die for. Which the prince knows well. His return here symbolizes work. He was now a level 6 Archmage. The woman has both beauty and talent, most suitable to be his woman. But he has to think of a way to solve the trouble that is me. Not long after the prince left, Mom breathed a sigh of relief. Then she signaled us to go to the clubhouse to register. Scene transition, we went to the mercenary guild, according to registration rules. To determine the true rank of the applicant, need to duel with the guild master who is a mercenary. But to take care of the 2 girls, the president decided to let the 2 of them participate in the test duel. Hearing that, the 2 immediately felt insulted. Then they decided, be sure to let him know. Not even a moment. Everyone came to the arena. with the president announcing the start of the inspection. In the blink of an eye, the two people's eyes were filled with murderous intent. I only saw Kana slowly pulling out the long sword in her hand. The next second there was a swipe. The president was sent flying on the spot. Simultaneously, only saw Selena slowly chanting magic. Then a tornado emerged from the ground. Just 10 seconds. They ended the match in a splendid manner. Even the president was shocked. They completely have the strength of secret mercenaries. It seems they have obtained the highest rank, while everyone is having fun. Mom seemed inattentive again. A moment later, she just reacted. Watch out for the prince's arrival. Made my mother remember some bad things. Scene transition. At this moment, my mother is falling into deep contemplation. Unexpectedly, the prince was still very stubborn towards her. Even though she has a family now, still wants his mother to be his concubine. If we keep going in this direction, my ultimate outcome will be like my father and mother. This will absolutely not be allowed to happen. Even though the family and the prince are from the same family. But mother will think of every way to protect me, right now. A knock on the door interrupted her thoughts. It's me, Ellie. Then I saw my mother speak. If we take the method of making magic stones as a condition, provide for the Einhart family, what will it be like? The whole mainland craves it anyway. Even the Einhart family is no exception to this type of technique. If you give this to them, I believe they will definitely protect me, and I give feedback. Even if you don't do that, I can still protect everyone. And us too. I only saw two people slowly walking out from behind the door, so let us forget all the unpleasant things. Look at the children who understand things like that. Mother was moved to tears. Then chat with us together. Also in a previous life, my parents passed away very young. When they are so oppressed by debt that they can't breathe, I was hoping to be able to lend them a hand. Now I have reincarnated into this world. Only with your own strength, was able to achieve maturity faster than others. But this time, I want to accomplish things that I couldn't do for my parents in my previous life. Everyone who hinders my happy life, I absolutely will not miss it. After a fun night, today I finally decided to go to the Einhart clan. And I hope there will be no problems today. Scene transition. We arrived in front of Marquis Einhart's palace. It seems like 17 years have passed. This place still hasn't changed. Then mother told the guard. They came to visit the Marquis, but was told that you need to make an appointment in advance. Then tell Marquis Einhart. Safar, who was expelled 17 years ago, has returned. Listen. The soldiers were immediately scared and ran to report. According to rumors, the power of the Einhart family after the escape incident. It's been going downhill. But after expelling him, father was very heartbroken. Even because of that, I didn't eat or drink for a whole month. As for the act of killing Rain, it was entirely the prince's orders, but not from his will. But why did dad end up like that? Simultaneously, I signaled my mother not to worry too much. A moment later, just saw two people staggering towards us. Then he immediately started apologizing to his mother and said that I shouldn't for the sake of the family's survival, which expelled him out. Right now, he noticed me next to him again. Could this be her son? Mom answered affirmatively to this. So I started introducing myself to the Marquis, but from his eyes, I deeply feel the fakeness, because since he first saw me, he swept through my magic with incredible speed. At the age of 17, you can become a level 5 mage. This was truly an existence that made him feel very surprised. But he didn't know that I have now become a level 7 archmage. Then he invited us into his house to talk in detail. The scene transformed. They arranged for Kana and Selena to practice first. Then I went straight to the point and asked my mother, Seifel, are you really the one who created the magic stone? If the family masters this technique, then the family's assets will go even further. At the same time, it will create a great influence on the empire's magicians. By then the family will become stronger, and the Einhart family will replace the royal family. Clear. Marquis Einhart's words were filled with greed. He was hopeful because his mother had returned to the clan. So we must devote ourselves to the family. But mother made a condition. That's for me to become Marquis Einhart. Hearing this, everyone present felt extremely surprised. And my mother thinks it's natural. Because the creator of the magic stone is actually Ellie. Just like what dad saw with magic power. Ellie is only 17 years old, currently a level 5 great mage. Please ask among the current level 8 great mages, who has such amazing talent, and I believe that In the not-too-distant future, I will definitely become the strongest mage in the Storm Empire. Magic Stone plus the world's strongest magician, Unheart family, will definitely become the strongest existence on this continent. So will you let him become a Marquis? Please answer me. Facing such a strong mother, the Marquis quickly signaled, I can't make such an important decision right now. But Mother asked him to make a decision now. Ellie could definitely become a stronger mage than him. If you cannot agree to this request, then I won't tell you how to make magic stones. Listen. The Marquis tried his best to control his anger. He also didn't expect it. Mom became so strong again. It seems that perhaps the saying mother is strong for her child also has a moral meaning. That's it. He could only say he needed time to think. A moment later, we walked out of the room. Although I'm very worried about my mother. But my mother signaled me not to worry. After taking my mother back to the room, I immediately returned to my room, which I know well. The Marquis will definitely not accept this condition. So I need to observe them more closely. So I summoned a pair of glasses. Although my eyesight is very good, but I need to put on my glasses. Newly able to focus and pay attention better. The glasses can better observe the movement of magic power. And now, what is the Marquis thinking? Let me go investigate a bit. So I immediately used the stealth technique, then go to the Marquis's room. But his uncle was very suspicious. Could that kind of child also become a Marquis? Only consider natural talent. At 17 years old, he was already a level 5 great mage. The boy is truly a rare talent. In terms of qualifications, his son is certainly sufficient. But he is a child who grew up abroad, so it's not suitable for our family. Moreover, what if it comes back to take revenge? Even Seifel had become a level 6 archmage. If this continues, something big will happen. But the Marquis said there was no need to panic. After all, there are more than 20 level 6 magicians in the Marquis mansion. Afterward, he immediately mentioned the envelope he received from the prince. The letter said, if the Marquis agrees, so he will find every way to accept Seifel as his concubine. But what if I did that? Seifel will most likely make all the family secrets public. Let everyone know. At the same time, the Marquis ordered him to shut up. Although magic equipment was used to handle it. But anyway, walls have ears. If these things get out, enough to cause the entire Einhart family to collapse in an instant. Back to main topic. Actually, they don't need to worry about the prince, because they were originally grasshoppers on the same string. The prince wanted a way to make magic stones, and Ellie's genius. These are all precious things that cannot be missed. If it were you, what will you choose to do? Which he knows well. This is a challenge from Dad, so he has to perform well. First, he will reply to the prince. We are very willing to let Sister Seifel be our concubine. He will then capture Ellie, and use Ellie's life to ask Seifel how to make magic stones. Finally, after getting the method to make magic stones, Seifel will be brought next to the prince. If she dares to resist, I will seal her magician power, and trained Ellie to become a mage loyal to the family. As for the prince, just use a fake corpse to fool him. Well said. Jort, you are indeed very suitable to become the next Marquis. At the same time, at this point I was so angry that I clenched my fists. Is this kind of person also worthy of being my family member? I'm very sorry. Why didn't you stop Mom from coming back here in the first place, from start to finish? My starting point is to want my mother to live better, so I always respect my mother's choice. But I didn't expect this to be the result. If it's just taking advantage of me, I can still be patient. But once again it implicates the mother. I absolutely will not forgive you. At the same time, the Marquis finally discovered the anomaly. But it's all too late. I saw that the magic power in my hand had already condensed, accompanied by a loud scream, endless flames. The next second, the entire house exploded on the spot. A moment later, only 2 people remained standing there bewildered. As for the Marquis, he just found it hard to believe. Unexpected. This type of large magic requires half an hour of chanting time. I can perform again in an instant. Afterward, only to see the defense team rushing towards them. Looks like you're still alive, so that's good. Anyway, if it ends like that, it's too tasteless. I swear I will definitely make you experience all the pain. I will make you regret killing my family. Those who stand in our way, they will all have to experience endless pain and despair. The next second, a giant golden knight immediately appeared before everyone's eyes. But at this moment, the Marquis seemed extremely excited, because ghosts are a rarer thing than magicians. Afterward, I only saw everyone launching an attack towards the demon doll, but only one face-to-face move. The whole team was defeated on the spot. At this moment, the Marquis is under the illusion that, if you can have this ghost, then the family will become the strongest force in the entire continent. After that, he immediately ordered me to be captured alive, and forced me to reveal information related to the magician. You are so greedy? Perhaps the current wealth? Isn't it enough to fill the bottomless pit in your heart? Right after that, I raised my hand and injected magic power into the magic box. Even the two people next to him exclaimed in surprise. I possess such strong magic power. Is a level 5 mage? Yet it was possible to create such a powerful golden knight. But he suddenly remembered. Before that I could even use level 7 magic. In a moment he understood everything. I use magic. I am actually a level 7 archmage. Unexpectedly, even the Marquis, who was the strongest level 7 magician, I was also deceived. After that I saw him angrily condensing magic power in his hand. Right after that, a powerful blast of blue energy rushed towards me, but I just gently raised my right hand, in a moment removed it. People like you are not worthy of being part of my family. Go to hell. Right now. Mom immediately called me back, but she still doesn't understand what's going on. But I don't want to let my mother know the things I'm about to do, as well as their dirty plan. I don't even dare to imagine, after knowing their plan. How will Mom feel? Face your mother's question. I don't know how to answer her, but I have never seen her so angry. Looks like I have no other choice now. Afterward, seeing me raise my hand, I immediately summoned a ball of energy. As soon as the Marquis saw it, he knew it was recorded by magic. Maybe. Does he always record what happened before? If these stories spread out, it will be troublesome. So he immediately ordered Ailey to be executed on the spot. But the matter is still unclear, and Ailey is his nephew. But the Marquis ignored this, and still ordered to quickly deal with me. Simultaneously, I turned to the Golden Knight and gave orders. Just defeat them. Do not harm life. Afterward, I only saw the Golden Knight summoning a precious sword in his hand. Yes, my king. But at this time everyone shouted loudly, break that precious sword. But only I know that is impossible, because the golden sword is symbolic. For the Golden Knight, it was made by the dwarves from pure steel, and around the sword's body were engraved with metal magic symbols. On the blade surface, has been cast with magic that can transfer impact force. At the same time cast sharp magic, to increase penetration ability. Therefore this golden sword can be compared to the legendary sword, just like the game I used to play in my previous life. If the strength of the combination is the strongest, always standing still, then one day the enemy will be defeated. So the only thing to do is constantly improve your limits. Only one can become the strongest. Simultaneously, I only saw the Golden Knight swinging his sword powerfully. The next second, a powerful stream of sword pressure immediately defeated the enemy. But this is truly a monster-like existence. Just when everyone wanted to run away, I saw the Knight Captain rushing over. It seems that he is the so-called captain. So in the matches of the experts, he must be in a superior position. After that, only the Marquis was seen giving orders to the captain. Execute Ailey on the spot. Of course I will deal with him in a heartbeat, but I appeared calm. The Golden Knight opens his second form. Remove the seal. Come. The second form of the Golden Knight has finally arrived. In everyone's surprised eyes, the Golden Knight has completed his second transformation. Then I saw him raise his hand to summon a golden sword. But the captain on one side found it hard to believe, because the knight's aura surrounded him again. Together with the Golden Knight, he slowly approached. The captain also swung the long sword in his hand. The next second, the two strong men had a violent collision. I only saw a blinding light flash past. At this point I knew clearly that victory or defeat had been decided. Simultaneously, the captain was soon seriously injured, but he still had a look of disbelief on his face. Then he collapsed to the ground. At this time only the Golden Knight was seen, swinging the golden sword towards the Marquis and the others. He slashed. Although the protective layer has eliminated most of the damage, but its strong sword pressure still instantly killed many soldiers. Even the Marquis was frightened by the scene before his eyes. Which is next? My target is those magicians from the Marquis' palace. But before that, Mom, do you really want to know the truth? Of course. Anyway, she believes I do this for a reason. Surely there is some important information inside. Although the Marquis strongly wanted to stop my actions. But the Golden Knight is extremely powerful by his side. Make him give up his idea. Because with just his strength, there is basically no way. Even if everyone can restrain me. But as long as I choose to leave this place, then the family will be destroyed in one day, simultaneously, to protect the mother's safety. So I used magic to create a space. Which is next? That was the moment my mother faced the truth. Looking at countless fragments of memories in front of me, Mom knew everything. Even if the prince wanted to accept her as his concubine. Or maybe you're afraid of your mother. Will reveal the family's secret to the world. And her father's indifference to all of this, even her uncle's entire plan. At this time the mother only felt extremely heartbroken. At the moment of return. She originally thought that her father always considered her a relative. But she discovered she was wrong, really. She also understands the fear of this family better than anyone. But she brought me to this scary place. There is basically no such thing as friendship here. Even though my mother was taken advantage of by the family, you can also be patient. But he didn't expect that the clan's claws would reach out to me. At the moment his father died in the beginning. His mother should have hated this family to the core. But she chose to believe. She believes that this is all due to the prince's orders. And the mother has now awakened. She clearly knows that these people simply do not understand what love is. What is love? In their eyes. Everyone is nothing more than a tool to hold power. And this is their true face. Even though the truth is so cruel. But it was time for her to choose acceptance. After coming out from space, Mom immediately made up her mind. She won't hide anymore. As for me, I noticed tears rolling down the corners of her eyes. It seems that no matter how much damage you suffer, Mom still considers them family. But I absolutely will not forgive you guys easily. When I raised my left hand high, the next second, a giant bird appeared before everyone's eyes. Next, it made a shrill sound. Even his uncle couldn't help but cover his ears. Even using the power of sound to weaken morale, unexpectedly a small level 5 magic can also affect level 7 mages. It seems that you truly have an extraordinary talent. Don't rush, it will be your turn next. After I used magic to lower the enemy's morale. At this time, the Marquis suddenly changed his attitude. Have you really not considered serving the family? A family without your existence, that would be a huge loss. If you agree to serve the family, then he can pretend these things never happened, and can ensure their safety. I don't know how you feel, and I reacted immediately. This old man is trying to charm me, not just my father. There are also those soldiers, now even me too. What a disgusting old man. It seems that the enchantment did not have any effect on him, but I have a question to ask. Why did he treat his family members like that? What is a family member? Many nobles for the prosperity of the family. But choose to sell out your children. This is all a story, just normal. Hearing this, I immediately felt extremely surprised. This guy really looks like a demon. And he was very curious about who I learned magic from. After all, at 17 years old, he has mastered 7 types of magic. It's truly terrifying. Even though I say I'm self-taught. But he had doubts about that. As for me, I don't care about his thoughts at all. After all, the kind of person who only sees family members as tools like him, I hate it the most. But I can give you a suggestion. If me and my family escape from here, then announce what you have done. Then your family will face great tribulation. And this gold coin is recording everything that just happened. This truth. It doesn't just affect the entire Einhart family, but it also involves the Prince of the Empire. If this becomes public, so the Storm Empire, there will be an unprecedented disaster. If you don't want to see this happen, then just have a fair fight with me. If only you could defeat me, I will destroy the gold coin and leave here. Hearing this, the Marquis immediately felt interested. Just 2 people attack together. So it's only a matter of time before I'm caught. But I didn't pay any attention to that, because they underestimated me too much. I will show them what despair is. When I threw out the energy in my hand, only saw 2 giant streams of energy collision into each other. In the blink of an eye, there was a huge impact. And the other side. The king learned about what happened in the Marquis' palace. According to rumors, witnesses saw someone using level 7 magic. This is an extremely important matter. If it was caused by the Einhart family's experiments, then we must hold them responsible. But what if something goes wrong inside? Then just stay calm and change. Finally profit from fishing. The king wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to weaken the power of the Einhart family, as expected of the man called king. Initially fostered the power of the Einhart family, become so strong. Now I want to conquer it. Then sent 200 soldiers to assist in the fight. Next, it depends on you, Duke. Of course I will resolve this quickly. At the same time, when the prince heard the news, he rushed over. Then he offered to go there with the duke. He wanted to take this opportunity, cut off all rights of the Einhart family, but his real purpose is to get Hefi. But the king was very worried. With his strength, it's not enough to weaken the Einhart family, but he said it again. Even if it's possible to go there to gain experience, it's also good. So the king approved his request. Scene transition. The two of them were preparing to go to Marquis Einhart's mansion. But what if the prince himself appeared? Then it's not my turn to act. Of course the prince gave an affirmative answer. When the duke gave the command, just see the entire army slowly moving towards the target. Just as the prince and the others were on their way here. At this time I had already cast magic. Only saw a giant hand attacking the Marquis. This type of magic is both fast and powerful. If I change to a normal person, he died right in the process of chanting the spell. But they are the powerful Einhart family. I only saw my uncle quickly cast magic. The next second, there was an extremely powerful firestorm, came to my place. I didn't expect that he could. Shortens the casting time of level 6 magic. As for me, I just lifted my hand and summoned a giant wall, immediately blocking his fire magic in an instant. Simultaneously, the Marquis turned towards me and cast his lightning sword. Face this surprise attack. I immediately used magic power to cover my entire body, and use it to create suction and control large rocks to block magic. Even two people. Everyone found it hard to believe my ability to cope. Immediately after that, I cast a fire tornado towards the two people. Just saw a firestorm rising from the ground. Unexpectedly, I just looked at it once. I was able to execute it so flawlessly. This simply a monster-like existence. After that, my uncle immediately used 3 layers of defensive magic for defense. But not more than a moment. The protective magic shattered on the spot. Right when my uncle was stunned, I soon took advantage of the situation and came behind him. And when I was about to cast magic, my uncle suddenly felt the urge to run away from here. But it was too late. I only saw countless silk threads sucking towards my uncle. At this moment, the Marquis next to him noticed. This is action restriction magic. But this kind of magic is for great and completely insignificant. The next second my uncle briefly condensed the fire. Then swing your arms up. I only saw countless silk threads burned in the blink of an eye. Right when the two were facing off, the Marquis was now quietly casting lightning magic, and it's all under his control. Simultaneously, I just saw a golden bolt of lightning rushing straight at me. Right in this moment that hangs by a thread, I appeared extremely calm. After that, I just lifted my hand, created an extremely large lightning rod. The next second, that lightning was guided into the lightning rod. At this moment, the Marquis looked incredulous again. He was very curious about what kind of magic this was. But how can I tell him? Anyway, this is very important information. Hearing that, the Marquis immediately became angry. It seems this lightning rod is very effective, because all lightning is absorbed by it. In general, water magic is said to overcome fire magic, but that's actually not the case, because only fire magic is strong enough. It can evaporate water in the blink of an eye, and I did a lot of research as a child, because I'm very curious about all kinds of magic. Fire magic can overcome earth magic, water magic can overcome plant magic, wind magic can be blocked using stone and steel. But only lightning magic is an exception. In spite of, you can use stone and earth magic to prevent it. But if you encounter a strong opponent, then this method will not work. But right now, I remembered the lightning rod I used in my previous life. Even though this is my first time using it, but it seems the lightning rod works very well. Simultaneously, look at my hateful uncle next to me. This time his life is over. I saw that as soon as I lifted my hand, a giant beast appeared. Then a strong slap knocked him to the ground. After that, my uncle collapsed in a pool of blood, and next will be one-on-one. Simultaneously, as soon as I lifted my hand, I summoned many sword spells. But they were all defended by the Marquis using a magic shield. So I upgraded the magic sword to infinite magic sword. As the name suggests, it is an endless sword spell. Although in terms of individuals, the damage of magic swords is very weak. But when the quantity reaches a certain level, they will become strong enough. The next second, I only saw countless magic swords rushing straight towards the Marquis. Although the Marquis tried his best to defend, but how can we resist such a large number? Along with the sound of broken shields rang out. The strongest magician on the continent has fallen, and he lost to a kid who just turned 17 years old. But he still found it hard to believe. Because even though he has a talent for learning magic, or calmness in battle, this is not what a 17-year-old should be. In the end, who is my true identity? After that, he saw the Marquis fall hard to the ground. Although I won't kill him, but I will seal his magician abilities. Just like what he wanted to do to my mother. I will completely ruin everything for him. Right now, Mom stopped my actions. And I feel very confused about this. Even Kina and Serena hoped I would stop. That's enough for Ellie. Even though my mother knows I have a talent for magic, but she did not expect that. I am now a level 7 Archmage. Even the demon statue that no one can restore was created by me. Even just one blow can defeat the captain. He still can't believe it. That lovely innocent little girl Ellie, now I can take charge alone. Great Mage level 7. But anyway, they have learned their lesson. I think they won't do it again. But I found my mother's thinking too naive. This type of person cannot repent. They will definitely come back with revenge. Although that is also possible. But at least we're keeping their secret. So at least they won't act rashly. And one more important point is, if I arbitrarily seal the Marquis's magical ability, then the Empire will certainly unleash a storm of blood and wind. By then, everyone will be in danger. After a moment of thinking, I agreed with my mother. Then let us leave this disgusting place. Find a quiet place to continue living. And with their strength, no matter where you are, you will enjoy extraordinary treatment. Although rights in life are also very important, but friendship is the most important thing. Therefore, absolutely do not forget this. Right after that, I asked the two from the bottom of my heart, are you two willing to become my family, live with me? Of course they gave an affirmative answer. Simultaneously, I signaled the Golden Knight to step up. After that, I saw him kneeling on the spot. This time the mission was completed well. And it's about time he got a name. From now on my name will be Tana. After instructing everything, just as we were about to cast magic, we left here. Immediately we saw a shadow blocking our path. Don't you dare leave here. Next, a sharp slash rushed straight towards us. It's here, it's here. The final form of the Golden Knight finally appeared. Just as we were about to leave this place, a slash blocked our path. Luckily, Tana promptly stopped it. If not, the consequences will be dire. At the same time, the prince is slowly walking into everyone's sight, but facing such a strong opponent. I immediately ordered Tana to immediately activate the third form. The next second Tana blinked, completed third transformation. Next, he immediately used overwhelming force to turn the situation around. Even the Duke couldn't help but exclaim. It would be good if he could side with the Empire, but sorry. I attacked people who are especially important to the Empire, Hart family. And this is equivalent to declaring war on the Empire. Even though he desperately wanted to avoid conflict with me. But it seems that the current situation does not allow it. Right now, the prince stood nearby, impatiently gesturing to the Duke. Quickly deal with these guys. And I never wanted to join the Empire. Because I want to destroy that guy. Next I immediately gave an order to Tana, restrain the Duke's actions. The next second I saw Tana summoning a golden sword from nowhere. Then immediately started a battle of wits with the Duke. So next is one-on-one. I have been patient with him once before. Now, he once again looked at my mother with those dirty eyes. This time I absolutely will not forgive you. Right now. Mom called me back. Can't you just leave here directly? Anyway, confronting the prince is really too dangerous. But I signaled my mother not to worry. Because I have made my own arrangements. Look at the soldiers in groups. I raised my hand and used the infinite magic sword. Even though they wear sturdy armor. But for me it has absolutely no effect. At the same time, I raised my hand and summoned a large hammer. Next, he swung a full force blow at the prince. The next second, the prince was sent flying dozens of meters away. This time must have caused him a lot of internal injuries. Foreign injuries can be recovered with treatment. But internal injuries can only be cured over a long period of time. The Duke next to him saw this and was extremely worried. Although he wanted to quickly help the prince, but now he is. Just dealing with Tana was very difficult. Right now, I signaled Tana to return to the other dimension. Then I saw Tana's whole body radiating golden light, and the next second, the Duke released a lot of sword energy towards Tana. Even though it all went directly through Tana. But in the blink of an eye, Tana immediately recovered as before. Then it immediately disappeared on the spot. Even the Duke couldn't stop exclaiming about this. This is truly a monster. At the same time, just saw me take out a gold coin to record everything. Then it turned into a ball of light floating in his hand, and now I, whispering to the prince, everything you have done is recorded here. If you dare to find us and cause trouble, then this thing will appear all over the continent. And I'm very sorry for causing this trouble, if possible. I hope we can become friends next time we meet. After that we immediately used teleportation magic to leave here. What an ignorant genius. If it can appear in another way, that's fine. But how will he solve these problems? Not long after, at Einhart, everything happened in the family. They all covered it up. But the story is about genius, the magician and the golden knight, beginning to spread across this piece of mainland. And this also became my first surprising appearance on this continent. Not long after the Einhart family incident, we went to a remote mountainous area to live. Right now I'm thinking about what to do next, despite destroying the Einhart family. At the same time, it also seriously injured the prince. But if we go back to Banzak, then it will definitely cause big trouble for those around you. But in my hands I still hold the secrets of that empire and family, so at least they won't easily attack us. Furthermore, I learned a lot from this battle. I have extremely fast casting speed, and the strongest magic combination. If combined with additional support magic, then I will become an almost invincible existence. At the same time, the Golden Knight is also exceptionally strong. Even I didn't expect it. He could fight evenly with the Duke. Looks like spending 5 years doing this, still very meaningful. If mass production is possible, then world domination will not be far away. But unfortunately, this is not possible, because it takes at least 3 years to create a person, even consuming a large amount of materials. But in that battle, I discovered something particularly important. That is, an individual's power is always limited. After the Einhart family incident, the forces of every country on the mainland are targeting me, and I need to create my own power before they found me. But what should I do right now? Mom and the others came to my room, and my mother is very curious. I don't know when I became so strong. From then until now, my magic talent is limitless. Excellent. So since childhood I have kept this secret, because I know that, if people with intentions find out, then it will cause unnecessary trouble. Although there is also merit from previous lives. But I can't tell my mother these things. But I'm still my mother's only son. Of course everyone has their own suffering. No matter what I do, I have always been my mother's child. And next, we will have to prepare for life later. Anyway, this happened, so we can't go back to Banzak, in the Serdia mainland. In the east there are 5 empires, and many magic towers. In the west, there are hundreds of countries united. Except for a few powerful countries, there are almost no magic towers in existence. And I want to be in a city without magic towers. Build your own magical tower. It is said that only mages of level 7 or higher can create it, because when fighting breaks out, the attack power of the magic tower is amazing. Furthermore, the construction budget will be paid by that country's government. So where do you want to build? Taurian Kingdom. That place has vast lands and fertile grasslands, not just the large population, but even fighting ability. Also much stronger than other countries. But that their country doesn't have a single magic tower. So this leads to heavy losses every year, because of the monster invasion, especially the praying mantis nearby. If we propose to raid this place, then the king will definitely agree. Furthermore, the king is an extremely excellent talent, and was deeply trusted by the great nobles. But because of conflicts between princes, so he still couldn't do anything. But this is not an issue we need to consider. We just need to find a way. Defeat monsters in Mantis Valley and Orc Forest. I believe that the monarch's army can. Settlement of the Orc Forest. So we just need to deal with the monsters in Mantis Valley. Hearing that, everyone fell into deep thought, and Kaina is very curious. Can he find a sword teacher over there? Of course. Anyway, the only thing I can teach you is how to breathe. Want to learn swordsmanship? Still need to find a teacher. And Serena also expressed his desire to become stronger. Because after going through the incident of the first Einhart, she just realized how weak she was. Even his mother had the same thought. Next will be the Taurian kingdom. Just when we decided to go to the Taurian kingdom, the Taurian monarch at this time, investigating monsters appearing in the forest, and the number of monsters is clearly on the rise. Just keep growing like that. Sooner or later the kingdom will fall into danger. Scene transition. At this time the king was worried about Taurian's future, because of his 3 sons fighting for the right of succession to the point of breaking one's head and forehead. But the Duke reminded him not to worry. In any case, the current struggle is more beneficial to the development of the kingdom. And he proposed to let the 3rd prince inherit the throne, would be more satisfactory. Because Prince Michael has a cruel personality. Just consider people as objects. The 2nd Prince Cran is a two-faced person. Inside he is as dark as the Great Prince. And neither of them is fit to be a monarch. Only the 3rd Prince Udemiwen is the most suitable person to become king, because he has a peaceful personality, have a strong tolerant heart, and have the talent to lead others. Although he is the most suitable person to become the king, but sorry. 90% of the nobles will support the 1st prince or 2nd prince, but, luckily, the 3rd prince had 2 strong suitors, Captain of the Royal Guard, Duke Lias, and the Captain of the Knights, Earl Lumer. Thanks to the 2 people holding most of the army in their hands, only the current 3-legged situation can be created. But accidentally the 1st prince and the 2nd prince joined forces. Push the 3rd prince down from the stage. It will be very bad. And right now the king is feeling very headache. Because I care too much about these things. The result is neglecting the prevention of magical beasts. Now you should focus on solving these monsters first. Right now. I just saw everyone entering a state of preparation for battle one after another. Because they were surrounded by enemies on all sides. At this time a soldier suddenly launched a sneak attack. It turned out that from the beginning he was an enemy in disguise. The king felt extremely confused. Why did he choose to betray and leave the Taurian kingdom simultaneously? Inside the magic tower important matters are being discussed. Carlosman said the owner has issued 2 directives. The first is the plan to assassinate the king. Rodolphe is underway in Mantis Valley. And after it ends, the 1st prince will ascend the throne. Now what you need to do is use your night magic statue, clean up areas around where monsters appear, and took advantage of the Taurian kingdom's strategy to dominate surrounding countries. But the old man seemed not to care. Anyway, as for the demon statue he created, this is too easy. And the second thing is, I heard that in the Storm Empire, there is a demonic knight statue. Old man Vandu immediately felt extremely surprised, because in his perception, he is the only one who can create magical statues. And the Einhart family, something big happened. A level 7 mage with his knight demon statue destroyed Einhart. Their strength is at least expert level. And that demon statue has a sense of autonomy. Old man Vandu immediately felt extremely surprised. And Carlosman is very curious. How powerful is the demon statue he created? For the present Orhaddon belongs to an age of decline, so he can only create magical statues. No sense of autonomy. And a month can only produce 1 child. Even the old man didn't expect it. Yet there are people who can create magical statues. And there is also a sense of autonomy. But Carlosman said this is absolutely nothing to worry about. Anyway, this kind of demon statue, it takes several years to create. But we can't just sit and wait to die. So he signaled to the old man. Collect all information related to this demon statue. Of course the old man was clearly interested in this. Simultaneously. At this time I had arrived in the Taurian kingdom. But how should I meet the king? If we make a fuss and say we came here, then it will cause unnecessary trouble. So what should I do in the end, right now? I could only feel my magic power giving feedback. This type of wave is at least Sword Saint level. Looks like he came from the north, near the forest. Moreover, he was very close to the royal palace. Could it be the king? So I decided to go there to find out. Simultaneously, I only saw a knight trying to slash towards the king. But the next second, he was thrown away by the magic shield. Although I'm not sure what's going on. But I know I can't stand by and watch. Or do you guys need some time to explain? Even though you will eventually die here. At the same time, a soldier next to me shouted at me, "Please protect His Majesty the King." I was startled. Is this guy the Taurian king? I got it. So these people are the enemy. Then I raised my hand to condense a stream of energy. The next second, a pair of large hands tore through space in the blink of an eye. Next came an incredibly giant golden knight, immediately appeared before everyone's eyes. Only then did the other two react. Yet he is the golden knight. Could it be that I am the legendary teenager who destroyed the Einhar family? What? Right at this moment, in my hand an ice flower condensed. The next second, countless ice flowers bloomed on the ground in the blink of an eye, and limit the enemy's actions. I then signaled Tana to take action, but remember to leave a few survivors. Accompanied by Tana pulling out the golden sword in her hand. All enemies in the blink of an eye. All have been destroyed. The king next to him had a look of disbelief on his face. Look at what's happening before your eyes. Only now did he confirm, I am the rumored genius teenager. The highest magician in the kingdom is only level 6 sword. If only I would stay here. So the future of the kingdom will be unpredictable. At the same time, I introduced myself to the king, and expressed how honored it was to meet him. Furthermore, helping your majesty is just a small matter. As for the survivors, then we can help you find the mastermind behind it, to express my gratitude. So the king immediately offered to treat me to a meal. After thinking for a while, I immediately agreed. Then see you again tomorrow. I immediately used magic to leave this place. At this time, the duke next to him thought, he is definitely the person in the rumors. The teenager who destroyed the Einhar family, and him. Maybe it can help us solve the monster invasion problem. Based on his strength, breaking through to level 8 Great Mage is just a matter of sooner or later. On the other hand, I told everyone everything that had just happened. Although things developed a bit suddenly. But how do you intend to gain the king's support? No need to worry about this. Because I have already thought of a solution, right now. A group of drunks started approaching my mother. I immediately turned black. Please don't come near my family. Afterward, they immediately left in fear. At this moment Kenna and Selena both blushed. My mother immediately understood what they meant. But this kind of 3-cent item, you two can handle it too. Hearing that, even my mother seemed to have a headache, because I am truly a straight man. Scene transition. At this time the magicians in the kingdom, leisurely waiting for my arrival. Right now, a teleportation magic appeared before his eyes. And at a glance, he immediately realized that this was high-level magic. The next second I stepped out from within the teleportation magic. It seems that you are the magician who saved His Majesty. So I can finally lighten the burden. As for me, I look skeptical. What the hell is wrong with this guy? Just when I felt very doubtful about this, he then realized that he had been too abrupt. After all, he had never seen such powerful magic. So I can't control my emotions at the moment. Moreover, this was the first time he met him, such a young level 7 archmage. Then he immediately expressed, it will be him who will lead me to your majesty. But he hoped to discuss magic on the way. Watch out. This person still has great enthusiasm for learning magic. Scene transition. I raised my hand to use magic. Even the uncle couldn't stop shouting. Yet it was possible to cast magic in such a short time. This is indeed a level 7 mage. Exist at the top? Then he fell into deep thought. How did I end up doing? The scenery of the neighboring kingdom attracted my attention. This place is exactly as rumored. Not only is food abundant, and the resources are also extremely rich. It seems that Torian is indeed a not bad empire. The uncle looks so studious.
And after seeing this method,
I immediately gave him the magic formula I created myself. And after seeing this method, he realized that talented people always have more talented people. High mountains have even higher mountains. Although I usually don't tell others about this method, but respect that he is very friendly, I immediately taught him. But please remember to keep it a secret. Scene transition. We have arrived before the king, and the uncle just met the king. He kept praising me for being excellent. But obviously the king already knew he had this type of personality, then signaled him to step down. But I'm very curious. Why is there no bodyguard around the king? Is it to make me feel more natural? Next, I knelt down before the king, and expressed gratitude for the monarch's invitation. At the same time, the king suddenly knelt down in front of me, and expressed my gratitude from the bottom of my heart for saving him. Then he invited me to eat and talk. As for me, I'll go straight to the point. Or you should hire me to be a magician for your country. Your country needs to build a magic tower after all. Not wrong. Because this can not only strengthen the country's fighting power, it can also prevent the annual monster invasion event. If only I would stay in the kingdom, so these problems can all be solved. But because of the competition for the throne, Currently the Taurian kingdom is in great danger. To revive the kingdom, to build a magic tower for myself, to be able to help the third prince safely ascend the throne, he had to borrow my strength. Of course I am willing to help the kingdom, but I have 3 conditions. First, I needed 3 years to build the magic tower. Listen. The king immediately felt extremely surprised. After all, there is now a territory invaded by monsters. Just keep going like that. Rubius won't last. Initially it was because of the existence of magicians, can only fight monsters. But when the magicians disappeared one after another, the territory immediately lost its ability to resist. Could it be because of the Einhard family? What caused it? The current territory still exists, absolutely because Count Rubius's daughter is presiding over the general situation. But what if the monster attacks again? Then next time the territory will no longer exist. Although I can understand your feelings. But 3 years is a period of time that cannot be shortened. After all, building a magic tower takes that much time. As for the monsters in Mantis Valley, I will help you solve them.